This is the game that decides it all. You've had a couple of hours to go away since your matches earlier and get ready for this all-important head-to-head.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger. The reassuring factor is both these teams look solid today, right? We've had MOUZ making quick work of FaZe, Falcons doing the same to 3D Max, neither having problems despite some shaky starts in the tournament. Both these squads lost to Aurora, and even Falcons only barely beat NRG, but today might be a different day where we get the best level from these two squads. For MOUZ, T-side start on Inferno, their pick. And Falcons back with their full roster off the back of a playoff run without it.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing that's kind of loaded the deck in a weird way for the Falcons, right? The idea that, as the desk was saying, this is their first event with their full roster this year, and they just went on a grand final run with Nucleons in over their star of Kyosuke. Now a kill early for Jimmy up in the apartments. Tess says quick to equalize as this A-pop coming in. MOUZ hold the advantage. There is this player in the back lines left to deal with. The rotates now arrive. Brolin's going to find Tessez out there in the apps, and it looks to be a dominant pistol leveled to open things up here for the MOUZ squad.
Cheeky setup for Falcons, right? Tessez never expected because they're double apps, but they're not playing off each other. However, MOUZ find the gap and quickly take the site. It's extremely difficult to retake in a pistol of all rounds.
Find yourself looking at these squads and finding it hard to imagine a playoff without one of them being there, but running down that train of thought, last year in Katowice, this one was a bit of a dark mark against the record of both of these squads, failing to make it for MOUZ. They had a stand-in for that one.
Yeah, I think you can write it off for MOUZ that event because, of course, they had Zelix in the lineup and then they went on to make every single playoff. This is a semi-final guarantee team for MOUZ. They were so consistent at getting to the top four.
Within that, it does feel weird that the last time we saw them in the playoff at this event, it was with Shui in the lineup for MOUZ, oh, wow. And it was an entirely different, Boros Falcons that were there for this squad.
Yeah, 2024 feels like a lifetime ago. But even though it's a very different Falcons, they still solved their problems. A team that has had trouble in some of these man advantage positions. A team that's had trouble on Inferno alone. So all eyes on today. Got this forced buyout on the B site. Stack with 4 strong for Falcons as MOUZ look to execute. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, stack well founded. And no fallback plan here for MOUZ. Time's low. They haven't got anyone maintaining control anywhere else in the map, so they've got to break through this stack here and now. Nico, full blind, regains vision. Jimmy, set of entries. Are they ready for m0NESY up here on the boost? A lot of low players, but he can't convert a single one of those kills.
That was made for him right there. Multiple players on 10 health. Doesn't even hit a single bullet. That really, for a 2v4, was winnable for a moment.
It's the 2 low guys spearheading that charge, right? Brolin, Jimmy, first guys moving through. And so certainly was a world where m0NESY makes that happen, but that's not the one we're living in.
Might be the first and the last CZ buy for m0NESY this year. Let him down. At MOUZ, great pop considering we see how blind Exertion is coming in through that broken smoke, but we saw it from Nico's POV. He was full flash as well. No one could see anything. MOUZ get out with 4 alive and the round. Really well done. Calm and calculated from Spinx. And not just Kyosuke back in the server, but Zonic behind them as well. Going to be needed today for Falcons. Falcons, always weird with these pistols, right? Because if you've been following this team, you saw last year troubles with pistols. It was Pro League especially, where they were like 2-12 on pistols. Then they go into rivals, they win the vast majority of pistol rounds there. They had an incredible track record. They go on all the way to the finals.
By the way, Monacy, that's why you're 5-7.
Yeah.
Don't get the CZ.
It's a lot better. But perhaps some similar struggles here starting the year. They certainly didn't look good in pistols at Bounty.
Well, Kiyosuke flash denied. Nico was keen to hand off the Galil, giving it to Tessez. He's got armor to save as well. They're going to float around, see if this is worth prodding. Up through Banana Exertion, hears them coming his way and doesn't hang around to fight this. He knows they're on the clock. He knows they don't have a lot of money, not much to work with in this round. And so no reason to give them that invitation. Will the space be enough?
Ooh, kill for Tessez. Damage duty here for the Falcons. Taking a couple of guns would be nice. Nico just trying to buy time, make him go down with the bomb. Tessez is out of there, and so are MOUZ. They've done a good job of avoiding damage in this game right now. 4 alive and then 3 alive. MOUZ start strong. This is Falcons' first rifle round coming in now. Torshi's AWP at 5-0 coming into play. So many questions today on the form of these teams, especially the form of Falcons. What Monacy do we get? Right, the Monacy that wants to no-scope down through the mid-smoke. So maybe that's a good sign. No connection, but coming in confident. Shows off his AWP. Tells MOUZ it's here.
Pop through in the top mid, and they catch Tessez with a bit of util out in the open. Nico trying to hold on here. Won't crumble, not yet anyhow. Nico is clinical. That third, a thing of beauty, finally dealt with. But he's done more than enough to tee this one up for the Falcons. Nice little cushy 1v2 with Nico making plays like that. Really does bring the hype and energy for the Falcons.
Comes in with a roar. I felt like he was going to get none there as the first player jumps the cross. Nico can't finish the kill. He goes on to 2-bullet that last player. What an incredible round for Nico. That round is done. If he even gets 2 kills, it doesn't feel like enough.
Let's go! Let's go!
Sick round from Nico to kick off this series. Nico comes off of an MVP in a lost final, a bounty, and Inferno was the one map where it felt like he had a really good read on what Paravision were doing. He was finding a lot of gaps, he was pushing smokes, reading some of these JMT sides.
Yeah, and the thing we kind of found ourselves saying, Monacy, all right, well, you just get a Nico highlight, now you've got a Monacy collateral in the next round.
Stars align.
Starting to feel very, very Falcons, thank you. Out towards top mid, Spinx taking space away in the downtime, but you're already in dire straits, and only 1 bullet's been fired in the round.
Golden bullet. And this is going to be an odd job here for MOUZ in a 3-on-5 with minimal map control. Running out of util, stepping in the flames, Spinx burns, and Kiyosuke really wants to get revenge with the flash from his teammate. They're both blind. How about another? Oh, Spinx! Dead on the corner. Jimmy not long for it either, and Torshi back on the AK in an impossible 1v5. He has 10 seconds. Better off saving. Not allowed. 5 up for Falcons. Monacy makes it easy for them. shattered over for MOUZ.
I mean, you're not thrilled with the last two, are you? You're worried because one of the things we were talking about, you know, at that opening event of the year was the idea for Falcons team that are used to, I say used to, yeah, they are used to it, but don't necessarily thrive under it, always playing under a lot of pressure just because, you know the money that's gone into building this team, the names that are in it as well, and how the results haven't been there. But getting to see them with a stand-in, they lent a bit more into, you know, trying to have some fun in those games, playing some high-energy Counter-Strike. And one of the things we were speculating was, you know, can this serve as like a good reminder off the top of the year to try and ignore the noise a little bit, just home in, and play your game, as it were, as cliche as the old interview answer is.
You know, it was, I think, awkward that they even draw Parry as a grand final match because it's like they're underdogs the whole way, and then suddenly in the final they're favorites with a stand-in. That adds more pressure again, and Paravision played up to it with minimal expectations, got out with everything. So it's Counter-Strike. It's the top level. There's never a day without pressure, and this is a perfect example. 2 BO3s in one day, and playoff qualification only available for one of these squads. Put up or shut up at this point. Someone's got to go.
All right, m0NESY going to try his hand at the opening pick again out here towards Banana. This time Exertion got skewered by this AWP.
Ooh.
This time he's dodged the bullet, and he knows better than to go and reface that without some form of assistance. m0NESY just playing a harass for this Banana control, and that is so nearly a catch.
m0NESY's playing confident though. That much is very clear. It's a good sign. And they're going to challenge him. Can't do it dry, surely. He hit that barely. MOUZ want this position. How much do they want it? What are you willing to dedicate? m0NESY still has a line.
I mean, you've finally been pushed back after really sticking around out here towards top Banana. But only now having to drop your smokes at B. You're not even close to thinking about rejigging this setup here. If you're Falcons, all it's going to do is slow down the rotate. Still a problem if you don't get in cleanly. And there's Kiyosuke over at long, offering that 5v4 up for the squad. Forced out by the util. Now the battle begins. TeSeS down here in the pit, drawing them in. He's got Nico offering assistance. Does TeSeS even need it? He's got the round. Nico there, nearly end up feeling surplus to requirement, but finally gets his chance to shine as well. It's a nice, easy one for the Falcons as MOUZ get picked apart.
That's worst case scenario for MOUZ because they've gone into this game and they've met a m0NESY collateral, a Nico solo sight hold, and now TeSeS has done the same. It doesn't seem like a weak start for any Falcons player just yet. And so MOUZ are going to have to fight an uphill battle on this T side of Inferno. Cyclone calls the first timeout. I'm sure there's some frustration for MOUZ, who did everything they wanted early round, pushing m0NESY back. They got out with no casualties, and then TeSeS just does them dirty.
Let's go!
High energy Falcons flying into first, 4-3. And a couple of pistols here for MOUZ with a Spinx Galil. He's going to have to play active. if MOUZ are to have a chance.
I think you're seeing the hot start from Tesses, and that should get you a little excited. Often the guy who kind of decides where the floor of this Falcons team is at. And a squad of stars. One of the guys who takes a bit more of a back seat. Brawl out towards Banana. Are they ready for Nico as the third piece? They should have been, and they're not. He'll swipe him aside. B-play denied as the triple stack comes through. Nico going back to his roots out towards Banana and able to lock it down.
What more could you want if you're Falcons right now? You've gotten away with absolute murder. Just a pistol round win for MOUZ. Clean anti-ecos. And now Falcons forging a 5-round streak. Exertion, pressured, sees him push ahead of the smoke. Kiyosuke doesn't give a damn. Gets involved with a 5v4 and Spinx through the smoke to trade it. MOUZ not afraid of taking risks themselves, and as Falcons burn 2 mollies on one position, it leaves them lacking in this B-bomb site. They're going to back up. Feels exploitable. Falcons try and gamble instead, moving Nico back over. A crazy aggressive move for Tesses through a smoke. That's Jimmy another. MOUZ know double molly's got burned. They know this site is weaker. Nico's come back in. And that's exactly what MOUZ are thinking.
Still have a smoke to block here, but you almost hope it doesn't come through and that they're able to just force MOUZ into this stack. Now, Torshi Zorp is on the line. Oh, Nico tries to get ahead of it. And Torshi firing one off as soon as that smoke blooms, able to find him.
NT for Nico. I mean, he caught Torshi moving. I'm shocked he got the counter strafe to hit that shot after taking a couple of bullets from Nico. Had to be an instant headshot here for Falcons. And instead, MOUZ do make a gun round work.
Something I am liking from Falcons over here towards Banana is trying to kind of bully Exertion early on, because you know he can be a very snowbally player, right? And if you're going to let him get away with taking space, you're going to let him kind of hit his groove here on the T side of Inferno, that can be a big problem. But in that same vein, while you know the ceiling of Exertion is super, super high, and he is capable of just taking control over games, he's also someone who's had his fair share of underperformances in high-pressure moments. And so if you're able to slow his roll early, that could do you a world of good in the big picture of this series.
Now, that's typically been in playoffs, right? Those difficult games you're talking about, but not in group stages. That's where we find ourselves now. Spinx got right-clicked by his teammate in the spawn, so already MOUZ starting this round off with a huge disadvantage. It gets made worse. Double kill up Banana. Kiyosuke and Nico combining very well in this CT side right now. And MOUZ just can't get a read on it. Run down by Kiyosuke, more damage done. You could call a save.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
It's just so
no one feels good about it, but it really is feeling like your only option here.
We might not find out who knifed Spinx unless it's on replay, because no assist given over. Falcons won't find this kill. MOUZ back up into spawn. The door literally shut for MOUZ. Not an ideal way to start off. Exertion 1 and 8, as you say.
And I mean, you know, if you're not able to get through Banana, there's only a couple of rounds of this T side left. You're going to have to lean a bit more on your apps player. You know, see if you can find anything on the other end of the map. But does that feel too obvious now? You know, that's sort of the mind game at play here with locking down Banana so early on in the game. I say so early on. We're right near the end of the half, but it's been the mission for the Falcons from the get-go.
I like this from Nico as well. Risking the AK, but knowing he can really punish MOUZ, rubs salt in the wound with an aggressive move here. It's going to get held by the AWP. Shouldn't be able to get away with a kill, but he's going to try it anyway. Not overplaying. Round guaranteed.
Counter-terrorists win.
And Falcons respond to that one single rifle round that MOUZ have picked up.
Well, to say the least, get you everything you need. Timeout for MOUZ.
I like this new HUD addition as well, seeing who gets to talk in these timeouts, right? You see both the coaches nattering away. Bit of talk from Exertion at the start of it. Great addition from MC. And obviously a lot of talk from Exertion. We know he's a vocal guy inside of this team as well. And also he's in the position that really demands all the attention, taking this banana control. And right now it's not working out. So calling his shots, calling what he needs to get activated. And if he doesn't, this might just be a swoop of a half. Eyes on Exertion in this gun round.
Oh, Monacy trying the opening. Roland still leads the charge out through mid, and here it is, the uptick out towards this A site. Now, Falcons have started triple B in the majority of these rounds. This one is the exception. 3 players out towards A. They try and get ahead of this change of direction. It's all going to fall on Atesses. Spot out from the short side. He'll take 2 with him. And that multi-kill there keeps Falcons very much in the conversation. Fast flank up through Banana as well. Falcons did have the read on the change from MOUZ in this round. Had the right idea, but can they nail the execution? Exertion gets himself his second of the game thus far, and it's an important one. Left on a Kiyosuke now in this clutch.
No kit right now. Maybe Tess has had one down in pit. It will have to come through if he's not going to win this round quickly. Torshi on the line, ready and waiting. And calling for that last round. MOUZ know they need it on this T side. A nice aggressive change of pace, catching off guard the Falcons on a mid hit. Double kill for Tessa, still not enough, but all these anchor positions really holding their own here for Falcons. But still MOUZ find 5.
Good stuff. Sieht cool.
Feeling like B is off limits here. Might have to be the late retake when Falcons are out of nades.
Yeah, even then though, hasn't stopped Falcons from going back to the 3B opener.
They've held all their utility.
Spinx even tagged, trying to make his way through the apartments.
Monacy just wallbanged him or caught him through boiler.
Big Sand flashed in. Aggressive play. Kiyosuke low and out here all on an island. Got players nearby to support. Now spotted 2 crossing back into Banana.
Classic setup.
Starting to build a bit of a picture though for how this round could play out at MOUZ. Saw them cross in.
They don't have any burning utility here. That one molly is on Jimmy back in apartments. They can't clear this position. They have to fight.
Boost up, ready to double swing this. Nico, another transfer.
He is in form right now.
And if he gets aggressive, this is Torshi here with the bomb. Got to just play to survive.
Can't save now.
Try and get out of there, link back up with Jimmy and Spinx out on the other end of the map. Falcons are already 1 step ahead of this, moving 2 players around for the rotate.
Nico's even clear Banana, they know it's coming in.
Missed shot for Monacy, and that's going to bring them through. Down in the pit, it's Tesses. His multi-kills have been invigorating in this one and might not even be a requirement. Oh, Jimmy, that is a crazy transfer.
No time.
Time's so low, and that will decide it. As good as it looked, it won't mean a thing. Falcons see that CT half through to a winning side, and it's the anchors right now. These transfers, these multi-kills, and the shutdown of Banana, breaking that game plan apart for MOUZ.
Falcons fighting for the playoffs here up against MOUZ. It's MOUZ's pick of Inferno. You would barely know it. Rock solid defense, multiple gun rounds over. Without that pistol, this would have been a stomp.
Yeah, and I don't think the scoreline necessarily shows just how in control of this game the Falcons were. 7-5 sounds like it might have been pretty close. 3 of those rounds came off the pistol for MOUZ, and even then, the rounds that MOUZ were able to break through, Falcons did have the right read and the right ideas. They just kind of flubbed their lines. It's a little bit worrisome. I was expecting more from MOUZ from the get-go, that this is where they would challenge Falcons, and Falcons actually look pretty dialed in, pretty switched on right now. Nico giving us a stellar game. Kiyosuke's been living up to his side of the bargain at B, and Tessez was a rock on that A site.
Harry, it would be a great time for Falcons to find a pistol round.
Yes, it would.
That's a problem.
Can they, though?
That's a big problem.
That's a whole other thing, because it would be a great time to win the lottery, really any time. But the odds don't look great for it.
Buy enough tickets. You take enough rides. Maybe, just maybe, there's something in sight.
Hoshi, dual Berettas, and you're going into a quad A stack. Kiyosuke and Monesi reduced it down to 2.
Possible round now.
And you're locked out. Moto smoke in your way. Nico even holding for these rotates in mid. And oh, Nico. He's been super dialed in.
Ooh.
Caught there by Brolin on the push. And so they've at least dealt with the backstab. But going nowhere quickly. MOUZ waiting to see if there's anything else.
What are we waiting for,
Really
boys?
slow on this. And that's going to leave them with little time to work with. I don't see a kit anywhere right now, and so they need kills. They need them quickly. Post plant well and truly set up here for the Falcons. And wouldn't you know it, they've got this pistol round in the bag.
Strange from MOUZ. Doesn't even feel like they really believed that they could win that 3v3. Sure, odds against them, without a doubt, but a bit of pace. You never know. Didn't utilize a utility. Smoke doesn't come in. That felt like just a lost round before they tried. Falcons, huge victory. Picking up a pistol after a winning half, keeping this momentum going into their T side. Kixon calling from the front. It feels like a map made for the Falcons.
Yeah, also just a nice feeling when you play into the stack site, and it never even felt that way to you. They took 2 gunfights, their whole push out of the apartments. That Moto smoke was devastating at the setup, leaving it to play retake, and as you pointed out, didn't even really feel like they believed in the retake. Oh! All right, Toshi. Damn.
Go on.
Go on, then. For old time's sake, Toshi, make us believe.
This was suave.
Modesty got so deleted. And now Nico's dead as well. This force buy looking great for MOUZ. Maybe there's some fight left in them. It's the 2 top performers to open things up here. Bomb lost over at ramp as well, so you're going to be slow to react in this situation. Tessez finds a surprising amount of room. Brolin struggles with the cover, but will eventually get it.
They've got a gap along though. Moto Smoke, you're going to walk through this. 2 rotations in spawn. If he hears these steps, he's going to have a huge chance. Kiyosuke and Kixon, 2v4, trying to kick down this door. Kiyosuke chases. Second player unknown about, and Xertion will hold on to this round. Back to B goes he. Kixon, another chance. MOUZ are throwing this away right now. It's still 2 rifles against 1.
Yeah, and you just pick your battle, right? Do you go in a Brolin who's had time to reposition out here on A, or do you leave it fully to the unknown and go look for Xertion? He's going to pick the closer bomb site here, hoping he can move past his IGL counterpart for the MOUZ squad, and he's just seen the barrel. Oh dear. Brolin closed in. Kixan able to get past him. Xertion has 3 kills in this game. He got his 3rd in this round right now. They're now relying on him in the clutch. He's not exactly feeling it, but he will pick this one up, and that matters. A step in the right direction for Xertion. And the gap now starts closing. MOUZ with a force buy win.
We often say in-game leaders in those clutches, they fumble with nades, they try and do too much, they try and think, they try and cook. Kixon had Molly HE, and he takes the straight-up gunfight. Don't get me wrong, I like it. Element of surprise, peak his advantage, name whatever you want. He has lower health. Xertion holds on. Hindsight decides. Xertion Picks up that round for MOUZ.
You hear how wild everyone goes for Exertion as well when he wins that clutch. Not only has he given them a major lifeline, but everyone on MOUZ is hoping that can be the turning point, right? Maybe you haven't wanted to address the elephant in the room just yet, but Exertion was struggling throughout the entire first half, never got going. He's just picked up a massive 1v1, and you're hoping that if you inject him with a little bit of energy, he'll be able to give it back tenfold.
Sonic very vocal in this timeout. Him and Nico, a conversation. All of MOUZ getting involved.
Ooh, hang on. Makes me wonder. I think we got Nico charging up Banana. He was doing all the talking. He's been given the hero gun. He has the best spawn. It's the old position this guy used to dominate. I think you've got to be ready to deal with a Nico Banana rush.
All right, let's get it going. That was a force by victory for MOUZ. Scout shot down middle. Spinx peek down middle.
Real test for Exertion here, right? Just won that clutch MOUZ. They've read this one right at least. They're starting 3 players over towards B. And Nico instead just playing it passive, waiting for a swing and waiting for a fight to come his way through the banana smokes.
Spawn smoke denies that. Nothing comes for free here. Nico's got to go and earn it. Falcons waiting on his every move. Ouch.
That's a meaty nade, and there's follow-up util here. Forces Nico wide, still gonna take one with him. Courses Exertion on the receiving end of it. Luckily enough, Brolin here to keep everything square.
It's gun game.
That says, here's that rotate. One more man over towards Long, and he might think he's got the room. Tunnel visioned on those footsteps. The idea that Long had just opened up, well, Jimmy's quick to shut the door on it.
Nice trap there for MOUZ. Falcons get stuck in it. Now Kixon's got to claw his way out of this 1v3. Step made, revealing position, smoke fading. He's got one more down. Ooh, poked, prodded, and finished off by the captain. Brolin holding strong, 3 kills. And MOUZ are making this one close after all.
Right, the fact we know who's talking in these timeouts now is such a sick addition.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know, all this conversation about, oh, what do coaches even do? And, you know, still a lot of conjecture. Still only the teams can truly know. Well, at least now we get a little bit more info on who's calling the shots. And in fairness, I will say, in all these timeouts...
You can never go back to not having it now.
No,
Good job, ESL.
Ooh, little mid-rush, Glocks. Burning it up. They just run through. Spinx on the corner, easy. And flashbangs here. As Falcons red in the face, embarrassed by Spinx.
Yeah, and MOUZ have done a really, really solid job of capitalizing on that early clutch in the force spy to bring themselves back into the game. Now they are very much in the conversation for a recovery. This round, well, that'll be the true limit test. You've got the bye coming in for the Falcons to contend with. Torshi gets to don his AWP. This is the first fully even fight we've got to have in this second half. And at a tie game, all the way into round 17, this one will give you a nice little leg up, either towards recovery or to an upset opening map for the Falcons.
Says volunteers for the MAC-10, takes it out of Kixon's hands. He's setting up flashes for the apartments, taken now by Falcons. Nice response. Jimmy with a set flash picks up the man advantage. Worth a punch.
Especially with it being Exertion there, he feels like he's eating a magnet in this game. Bullets just have a way of finding him, so why not leave it to chance there? Nico also gets the info. They had a fairly active double banana setup. Didn't spot a third, no inkling that the stack is here, and so it feels like that might be enough to seal the fate of this B exec for the Falcons. They start to move in.
MOUZ don't bite the bullet, they don't panic with utility there as that smoke comes in from quite afar. Nico getting up top B, the smoke received, and 30 seconds. Decision to make here. No more smokes left on this B bomb site. Flashes, HEs, everything else. Can MOUZ hold strong with the man advantage?
Rotate arrives and it's Torshi primed with a flash. Exertion's gonna go on the back of this. 2 players down there in the pool. He's able to ice them both out. Multi-kill from Exertion will get dealt with, but time is low. Torshi's the only one close by. And if they want to play this in the retake, play the man advantage, well, that's the numbers game. Torshi never attempts to deny that bomb plant.
Gotta play active, can't hide here.
That says swing. This shot goes unpunished. Now they know where both players are for this post plant. m0NESY trying to reposition, trying to take some ground back so he can change position, keep it dynamic. Cross back out for m0NESY, and it takes 2 to cancel him. Jimmy there. Swing out from the spawn. MOUZ move into the lead.
What a recovery. Everyone putting up multi-kills here in this run back for MOUZ. It's a double in defense from Exertion after a really horrid start to this game. And Jimmy comes up with 3 by the end. The opener in apps closes on the post plant. MOUZ take the lead right back from Falcons. Despite that winning half and a pistol round, the force by upset and 4 straight here for MOUZ. Impressive resilience, but we know this is a team that never goes down. They have recovered some incredible games in the last year. So this one's nothing to them. Falcons classic mid-rush. Nico's lost his gun. Picks it back up. They're out long, but they're so split. No tethering here for Falcons. Cords cut. Kyosuke responds.
Oh dear! Exertion found through that smoke. And suddenly, what was a pacey round for the Falcons, well, it might start to slow on down. Torshi goes looking out here on long. Really in danger, but makes it across in a library. Smoke now fades, and the Nico Deeg, are they ready for Torshi? Got into the library position, Nico is! Oh dear. Forced by round, and Falcons laugh all the way to the bank. 9th looming as they bring it back to a tie game.
I don't know what happened in middle. Nico dropped his deagle, he dropped his pistol, maybe throwing nades around. Thank goodness he picks it back up.
I mean, that Deeg's so hot that he had to put it down.
Double headshot hiding in the smoke. Great freeze from Falcons there. And MOUZ really hoping Jimmy can keep this gun going, but Falcons are in hot pursuit. m0NESY doesn't care about this Galil. He's got an orb dropped over next round anyway. Falcons know Jimmy, pit player. They're going to come find him. There's no way Jimmy should survive this. Tessus has nade.
Oh, Jimmy. Poor guy, dead on the drop. And look at this, all smiles for Nico. You know, that is one thing I hope he kind of found at the start of the year, having a tournament where it was more about him, right? Like with no Kyosuke, with Nucleon standing in, we were looking at Nico. As you said earlier, he got the MVP at that event. And I hope it's kind of led him to back his aim a hell of a lot more.
He's had some great games here as well in Kraków.
Everything just feels a little better.
Oh, okay. Bit of a rivalry, Torshi. Frontline, AWP ahead of the smoke, picks m0NESY out of the round. m0NESY was even checking for that play. But Torshi is quick to it right now. From the scout in the second round to the AWP in the 19th.
Really need Torshi, though, to find even more success on this AWP if they head in his direction. And that could change now with a resmoke from MOUZ. They're trying to leave a back door open. Tessa's still roaming and exploring the apartments. But no clear finish yet. And Tessa's will look to rejoin the gang out here on Banana. He found the 5v4, Torshi, but your job is far from over. He's about to have all of the Falcons coming towards his bomb site. Now, Exertion you're going to expect to find here. Torshi being in this spot, well, that's going to take a bit of prediction, a bit of a read. The idea that he would reposition after that first. Nope, you learn about it the hard way. AWP fires off. Nico now donning it. Oh no. Holds this line. Backstab starting to take shape for MOUZ, and Falcons are fully boxed in. They need an opening. They need someone to provide. And with Torshi going from strength to strength on the AWP, you'd like to think he's done more than enough with that triple. MOUZ had to win that round. Their money was on its last legs. They get out with 4 players standing, and it's on the back of an explosive round from Torshi and his AWP.
And that will insta-force a timeout here for Falcons. Their momentum shattered yet again. It's akin to the first half. These streaks of CT-sided rounds and T economy crumbling. At least they can drop guns. Everyone can buy. But Falcons, this is going to be your final swing on the T side of MOUZ's map pick if you want to find this upset on Inferno. Impressive resilience as always for MOUZ. Led by Torshi here. Backside multi-kill.
Nice! Adam, man! Big up, big up. Nice, Uri!
Flashes. Goes for the re-peek. I mean, I think at this point, you'll take that trade. Nico's been a real thorn in your side.
Uh-oh.
Could get problematic if Brolin falls, but he plays it safe, dropping that util, and Torshi rotates over on the AWP.
Well, as much as Nico's been a problem for MOUZ, Torshi has for Falcons, so in the right position now. I feel like Nico is often the perfect counter to an AWP with a well-placed AK headshot. Can someone make up for it? Torshi's left alone. Smoke might just win this round for the Falcons.
Yeah, Torshi's got to hit one.
Oh,
goes out for the swing around that smoke. Nade could still be interesting with Kiyasuke low, but it's missed the mark, and that would have given you a fighting chance. Now you're left weighing up in this 4v4. Money still in that pretty awkward spot. You're out of position, and you just let this one pass you by.
Oh, dude, I can't believe it. Yeah, the first missed shot, yeah, it's unfortunate. Feels like it should be a kill, and then just missing the nade. Throwing away the only opportunity to open up that post plant. MOUZ have got to save. Falcons will allow it. Their economy far from safe as well. An even game, tit for tat right now in this second half.
Guys, hold.
See on Exertion's face, he's not happy with this.
It took the wide swing after 3 layers of utility up banana. Maybe wanted 2 from it. Would have really eased up the round for MOUZ.
I think it's one thing if you're getting, blown out the water by Falcons, but this is a close game. He knows, you've even heard from Spinx in interviews saying if we just played 5-10% better, we could have been winning trophies last year.
So
is this really going to be a similar sort of vibe for MOUZ where you come real close, but you are lacking that 5, that 10, that 15, whatever percent it may be, that little nudge to bring you over the finish line?
Yeah.
Or can they level up here to open up this do or die series?
Just a bittersweet year for MOUZ, really.
Slower start for the Falcons. No crazy pace out towards banana. It's measured all across the map. Pressure on for MOUZ. A loss here. And they're clutching at straws to try and get buys together down the stretch. It's all going to be depending on saves. Torshi's finding in the 5v4. They gave that second wind to MOUZ. But no one's ready for Kiyasuke in this position. Surely Spinx even gave it a check, even gave it a glance. Still wasn't fast enough, and now a miss. Torshi makes up for it. Second time's the charm. They're going to put distance between themselves and that AWP. I say that. Nico looked like he was thinking about challenging it. Exec out towards the B side, but this doesn't feel real with so many of your pieces out towards A. They're going to bring that bomb back round, try and link up. They know the pressure is sky high for MOUZ, that they might feel twitchy, they might feel nervous. They'll stick to their guns with 2 players here. They're even bringing a 3rd over. MOUZ have the right read. They know what's happening. Footsteps now heard on Brolin, knows they're closing in. Crossfire's too strong and Falcons can't get through it. MOUZ get to 11. Live to fight another day. And that dreaded reset that was hanging over the top of them, denied as they hold on.
Oh, MOUZ needed that round. It felt like GG without it. Economy gone. And keep in mind, Dust2 is the 2nd map of this series, right? This is a map that MOUZ haven't played in 6 months until this tournament. Anubis, their old perma, back in the map pool. They've had to swap. They banned Dust2 for 6 months straight. They are out of practice. Falcons have picked it in to punish. And so MOUZ really need theirs in this series. With it, it sets us up for an ancient decider. They are still not out of the woods on Inferno. Falcons throw one final bite at them in hopes of hunting down this MOUZ CT side. I love what MOUZ did there. They pulled Brolin back over. He spams flashes for exertion. Then he goes back into A. He knows him supporting his teammate makes it feel like there are 2 players at B. But he was right on the money with the read. Forces Falcons into the stack. Risky moves made by MOUZ. 3B. And so that block buys time. MOUZ can change their mind, change their setup. Spinx is full Joker in this round. He is just gambling inside of B, committed right now. Falcons are going for the A hit. They've found the gap.
The way around the long side. And so even these rotates going to find it hard to play into this one. The 2 guys in the site, well, they've actually split up on this. Torshi holding on to the apartments. That leaves Jimmy with short and long. Got to have eyes in the back of his head. Battling forward first, they're closing in. Torshi can't cover. As the Falcons run through that defense, as Spinx just created a big problem there. Smoke push gets them in past Nico. And now you can weigh this one up. Do you want to give it a go? You could fight for map point here and now.
Should.
And if you're able to win it, well, Falcons look broke moving forward. You would leave yourself right there, ready to lock in Inferno after a troublesome first half. Tessez on the AWP will give you an answer. Knocks out Spinx over on short. And now this is really starting to lose steam. Brolin in an advanced position. Caught further forward. Oh, God, no. Tessez will wrestle it back. And so no worries. No crazy lost retake there. Falcons hold on.
And exertion dies with the bomb. It goes very wrong for MOUZ. They go in for damage. They lose everything. They can still buy full. Nobody is sitting pretty at 11-11. And we've been teasing the idea of an economic break this entire second half because it has been back and forth rounds for 6 straight. But whoever loses this round is broke. Make no mistake. There is 0 loss bonus. There is only bomb plant money.
Yeah.
And so as both teams buy down fully, it feels like round 23 is the game. MOUZ's damage there helps them more than it hurts them. They have a better buy in this round.
Both squads have just been trying to dodge that reset this entire time. And it finally catches up with them.
Yeah, the worst possible
And it will happen in round 24. Not now, but in the next. And so the winner of this has the perfect layup to go on and close out the game.
Nothing is ever safe, but it is about as good as an advantage as you're going to get. 6 rounds with different winners in a row.
Because sometimes in these spots, you know, it's down to like a myriad of factors. It's like, yeah, well, if they save, they could still get a bye together, but that's not even an option. 1,900 for MOUZ if they lose it, 1,400 for Falcons if they lose it. You are broke next round no matter what happens.
Getting stressful here. Util dropped over. No hurry here for Falcons. It would feel crazy to be rushing in this round. Call from Spawner's apartment's control. Kicks and feigns presence in mid with a long smoke, cutting off Torchy's orb.
Kind of a sick idea to go for the gamble here, right? With the money being where it's at, this idea that, well, if you picked wrong, you at least have a proper chance to go in the next. And if you pick right, you have it all to gain. MOUZ start with a quad A stack.
Wow.
Rotate's can arrive quickly, but they'll only get here if the site can withstand the hit. Kiyasuke double entry. Spinx tucked in. Spinx goes swinging. Gets out with a double. It's enough to keep you very much intrigued in this round.
Do or die for MOUZ. Save or commit.
Monesi's a long way away. It's only Kiyasuke in the site. Nade will find a bit of chip damage, but it's nothing to write home about. Monesi is playing for a very late in the day bit of impact here, hoping that if anyone tries to come up short, that's where he gets to play.
Kiyasuke's triple. Looking for all 5. Monesi hears him go back. He can backstab.
Oh, Nade's pulled. They hear him burning. Forced to swing right out into the open. It's Monesi or it's nothing. Falcons, they need him now. They need Ilya, and he can't do it. Exertion from bottom of the board. A massive clutch. The back-breaking 1v1 comes through out of Exertion.
Unreal round. Monesi playing so late. And Kiyasuke, all that work, all those entries, impossible trades, only to burn down fully in the molly. Doesn't even take one with him. A one-tap for Monesi. But too hot to handle here for the Falcons. They fall in round 23. They pay the price with their economy.
We need those fucking runs. Let's fucking go.
And the hype comes back for Exertion as he yet again wins them a 1v1 with resounding implications. Look at this final buy.
They tried to get in his head. They tried to get him off to a really rough start. And so often, that just spells the end of these high-impact games for Exertion. That clutch might be all you're left talking about. Falcons can't hack it in the 2v2, and look at what it's left them with. AK on Kiyasuke, Galil for Monesi, the two that couldn't do it in the last round. Armed again to try and run it back. And a more standard setup this time for MOUZ, right? Not going for anything crazy. Don't feel the risk-reward of the gamble. It's a standard 2-3 setup, 2-3 split, but aggressive up towards top banana. They'll have info ahead of time. They know that Falcons aren't looking for this map control.
Spinx is so hard to get past. He has had a bunch of multi-kills on this CT side in some very important rounds.
She's come in. Oh, kick Sam with the D, gonna open things up. And now the A site shrinks on down. You're playing crossfires between Default and Pit, and you're just hoping that someone can get a multi-kill. Torchy rings out with the first miss. There's a backstab closing in on this play in the downtime. You need Torchy to start hitting. Nico's found Jimmy in the site, and there's the follow-up from this Nico Deeg. Help from Tesses goes a long way. And all that's left to do is stop Brolin in this clutch. Closing in, Tesses does it. Deeg's breakthrough for the Falcons, and we're going to OT.
Falcons refuse to fumble this game. They refuse to throw it away. With all odds against them, with nothing but Deagles and a single rifle that doesn't come through, Falcons break into extra time. Nico having a start to the year. One hell of a start. MVP back at Bounty, and Falcons fighting for another playoff.
And it's just such a huge sigh of relief for the Falcons. Those are the spots they normally flub the round in, you know? Those type of 2v1s where you feel like they've done enough, you feel like they've kept themselves in it. Job's far from over, you're still going to get through here, and Spinx has made sure you stay on the back foot.
Banana has been closed in this game. It just shows the fact that Falcons have gone for these continuous A hits. They don't like what it has in store, and it doesn't like them. 4v2 as Torcy picks Tesses. And you feel like you've just got to walk back into uncharted waters. wherever you go. Falcons locked out of this first round. The high-low setup. And MOUZ unmoving. Without util, Kixon, there's no way. He tries, but Xerxon holds it.
Taste your own medicine type setup there.
Oh.
Okay.
NiKo.
Weird, but doesn't have the bomb. Still playing it forward as though he does.
Do they know? Got at their feet, they smoke and they go back. They don't want to lose this round. MOUZ just lock the door on round 25 as NiKo hangs around.
Ultimately just too far away to get this one done.
You just have expectation that they're playing the bomb. NiKo's going to run it in. Not really much point saving. Can't hurt to try, but Roland has the cross. And from afar, MOUZ pick up the first. Torshi bring in the hype. MOUZ have had great energy today.
Energy is something that this team have spoke about a lot, right? The idea that it's one of the first things you kind of notice about them. When they do start struggling, things get a little bit quieter. Torshi's usually the guy to bring that hype, bring that energy.
Nice, boys! Nice run, Dorian B!
Well, he does kind of feel like the heart of this MOUZ team.
They really are giving Xerxon his flowers, and he has recovered in this game, right? Not pretty scoreline, but two massive 1v1 clutches.
Yeah, I mean, the 1v1
bunch of
that kept
opening
the whole
kills.
game alive.
Yeah, he has definitely recovered well. Great grenades here for MOUZ, but do they know that Falcons call the bluff? NiKo has still walked up top banana through the util. Jimmy living and dying in apartments. NiKo still sending it. He hears nades fly. He knows he has a gap.
Oh, Xerxon nervous here because he's seen your hand. He knows you're getting that util in.
It's one-way info. Xerxon didn't see NiKo.
There's a util out as well on the player at Coffins. And NiKo actually has a huge bit of room. A huge gap right now is just open to NiKo.
Oh, no.
They both have util out in the open. NiKo unable to capitalize, won't get an opening. And Xerxon's actually going to respond.
Don't expect
How on
that.
earth did MOUZ end up coming out of that looking better?
It looks so wrong there for MOUZ, and both of them push back in and pick kills off. 5v3, this one should be assured. Torshi doesn't miss that. And Falcons falling just a little bit short. Timing spotted by Jimmy. Tess is blocked. And so this walk up short is going nowhere. Again, nothing to save for Falcons. Not even the round.
Knew the swing was coming from somewhere. And as they try to play on through, they get decisively denied. MOUZ, since reaching this overtime, they have not squandered this opportunity. 2 in a row, looking to go flawless on the CT half. And the thing that really stands out in a second half of play that was so back and forth for those final, 8 rounds, this has been dominant, and the rounds haven't even been close. NiKo trying to walk through what was a 1v4. He got one no impact kill on Torshi overextending through mid. Other than that, the round decisive win for MOUZ. There, another decisive victory where it's kind of just a limp. Well, may as well see if we can win it as they walk up through short. These have not been competitive rounds, not by any margin. And you can't even say that Falcons haven't got to good positions. That's a spot that NiKo would kill for, literally, to get in all the way into Banana. Have no idea on the opponents that are waiting for you. They both have nades out in the open.
It will hurt to watch back, that's for sure. If he pushed any earlier, he would have had a kill there. Hasn't been a timeout in a while. Both coaches take the entire 30 seconds for themselves. Oh, Xerxon, he's just relentless, but NiKo was prepared. Anti-flash on the corner, deals with the point man of MOUZ, and they might just jump in at smoke, make some second guess.
Well, you've been kind of searching for an advantage, getting a play from the front in any one of these rounds. They're not quick to give it away.
Kiyasuke.
Respect the smoke in at top banana and lend a bit of time instead just to push and prod elsewhere. Kiyasuke roaming the apartment.
Super unlucky. He dinked Torshi through the wall. He caught him there as that smoke came up, so maybe felt like he should have had that kill.
You know you're going to split the defense here. You know you're forcing MOUZ to make concessions, to leave gaps somewhere on the map. It's down to Falcons now to find them.
Torshi's had some misses in this position already. Can't afford to be had now. Looks to play inside of the site. Falcons 3 strong. Tempting with an execute. Spinx picked in mid, trying to get aggressive. Does that draw Falcons back? No, they go in. Massive entry from Kingston, who has been extremely quiet, and kills come up in every position. 4 Falcons players with a frag.
Bomb nearly went B and your heart skipped the beat for just a second, but they brought it back around. They're just going to dodge Brolin entirely. Captain never gets a fair shot at this one.
Insulting.
Falcons, they'll at least get something here. 1 round to hold on to in this first half of overtime. They get there flawlessly. The stress is still sky high.
It's a crazy move for Spinx to make. Not seeing him be very active at all. He's been playing Joker in the pack, hiding out in bomb sites. Not looking to take risks, so a big swing and a miss here. And Falcons prosper. 1 round on their T side. Back to a half that was really solid. If you remember, back in regulation, MOUZ could not get going. Exertion was a non-factor.
Yeah.
By the end, they were avoiding banana entirely.
And, you know, we've heard the type of things that Zonic says to this team, thinking back to some of the comebacks you've seen. The Ancient one, where they were massively down, and Zonic calls the timeout and says, you know, we're the best. We're the best defensive team in the game, and so let's lock in, let's level up. You can envision he said something similar here, right? Try and inspire them to get that 1 T-side round, the idea that you did win this game out on the CT half. And so you gotta have full faith that you can go flawless if you're the Falcons. This was your better side. You really outdid MOUZ in that first half. It was really only the pistols that were anything to speak of, and even in the 2 rifle rounds that MOUZ found, Falcons had the right idea, had the right read, they just didn't nail the execution. No room to mess up in that same regard now, as every round counts. Once you hit OT.
Just reiterating the importance of MOUZ taking their map pick here. Sure, their Dust2, you know, it might be new and improved, it might be back, but it's not a map we've seen them play since the Austin Major, when Anubis was still in the pool. And now with it back, MOUZ have had to move back to a Dust2. They got 1 win over NRG here. They lost to Aurora pretty one-sidedly. And it's certainly an exploitable map for the Falcons. Exactly why they've gone for the pick here. So MOUZ don't want to fall back on a tournament lifeline onto a map they've got 2 officials in 6 months.
So from what I can see, we got everyone back in the server. And fist bumps being exchanged. MOUZ are back. Now, we've been crediting Exertion for the recovery here.
Yeah.
If you remember, he had a really, really rough time T-side. They completely wrecked him out here towards Banana. He did not get going at all. Only found his 2nd kill right at the tail end of the first half. Was 1-9 at one point in time. Really, really struggled. And they never got to take Banana because of it. Well, we said he's recovered well. He picked it up moving into the CT half. He won them the clutch that kept the game alive. But this is where we see, does that extend to this T side in overtime?
Falcons start very passive. Monacy was considering a mid pick. They didn't want to risk it with a triple B. Bit of a miscom for MOUZ as Jimmy gets full blind. And in the silence, Falcons eye up a rotation. They might need to. MOUZ look like they want to attack this site and do it pretty decisively.
Tessez down here in the pit was a force to be reckoned with in regulation. Well, he's dead straight away here. Tag from Monacy, and there's a follow-up exertion out in the open. They get this one into a 3-on-3. Brolin was also tagged, scraped by the Monacy shot earlier.
He's going for wall bangs here.
You're still interested. Pressure never lets up for MOUZ. There's no freebies in overtime. Torshi on this line with the AWP, delivers, Kicksand dead. Flashes allow them to start closing the distance, moving in, trying to get round this Torshi AWP, but he's ready like a book. Monacy might find him, needs even more. And at 6 points of health, there is no winning this one for Monacy. MOUZ now have 2 opportunities to lay Inferno to rest and sit a map up. Dust2, uncertain or not, if you've got a map in your pocket, you'll feel that much better for it.
Yeah, MOUZ in a perfect position now. Spinx just had some incredible rounds in this game. The flick headshot here to find the opener. And remember, right, Exertion had problems on the T side of this map at the start of the game. What were the other problems for MOUZ? It was these rock-solid anchor players. It was Nico multi-kills. It was Tess's multi-kills on this A site. Completely shut out. Great post-plant read for Torshi. MOUZ right there, ready and willing to close this game. Another opportunity.
Yeah, ready and willing, but are they able? 2 opportunities. You could even afford to have a misstep in theory. And so that gives you a bit of a degree of freedom that the Falcons simply do not have on this CT half. You're certainly seeing that in the setups. It's less aggression, less searching for info. Monacy, blind off the angle, still gets his. Even double dibs. It's the end of the line after the double. Rotates start to arrive. Kiyosuke first on the scene, and he's looking to leave an impression. Charges down that bomb planter. It's left to Brolin, 1v2. Nico and Kicksand still to deal with. Oh, you hear the plant, they're closing in. Both players out in the open, and Brolin gets iced out. Falcons give themselves a fighting chance for double overtime. 1 round left in this.
Kiyosuke's show continues. Monacy hits a couple as well. MOUZ still able to trade with good spacing. And push through the smoke, high risk, high reward. It not only gets him his double, it gets them the anti-clutch. Falcons survive 1 more round. In a very stressful environment.
Also get out of that with 2 alive, which means Nico gets to have an AK. Wouldn't mind it if Kiyosuke got the other one. But Kicksand's gonna hold on to it.
Yeah, I think hand that over. It's got double your kills. Maybe doesn't want it.
Yeah, sure. Monacy scopes up on mid. Wasn't presented anything early on in this one. Molly's forced him back. Nades are good. Once again, used to try and bully Exertion out here at Banana, but the hit's still coming. MOUZ still making moves. All the way into the top of B. Kiyosuke first to fall.
Rolling back to his entries here. Insane jump up. If Kiyosuke had the AK, what that could have been.
It's something as well that we weren't really used to seeing. Getting that opening kill at Banana. Like, you have a lot of wounded players right now, but if you overextend, you've just given Torchi another.
Sit back and breathe.
5v3. You couldn't get man advantages in these Banana fights all throughout reg.
Now, don't get ahead of yourself, though. 2 low players. If Falcons make a good gamble and MOUZ hit that bomb site, there are always ways these can go wrong. So Falcons have to read it right. 2 players back site. Kickson and Monacy. Monacy with a slow start, but building back into this game. And MOUZ, all 5, it's all about the trades.
Exertion takes the AWP because he's low. Satoshi won't have his weapon of choice. How's his rifling? Push through, they let the low player lead the pack. Brolin up at the front, and a hell of a shot back from Torshi. Kicks out on the rifle now, dead to that nade. And Tessez all the way on the other end of the map, left in an unwinnable 1v3. MOUZ, they've done this. There should be no world. The low players went out and sacrificed themselves, willing to lay down their life, faith in the rest of the team to see it through. An Exertion holding on from bottom of the board delivers the killing blow. MOUZ 16-14. A close game, a back and forth game, but when we hit the OTs, MOUZ level up.
Yeah, down but never out for MOUZ. Great recovery after a difficult first half. Without the second pistol, it felt like Falcons were teed up for the 2-0. Now they're going to have to earn it on their map pick. We're heading to the unknown of
And is he ready to play the hero?
Well, Falcons feeling villainous right now, going to need to reverse sweep this series. We mentioned Dust2 as a potential worry for MOUZ, a map they haven't really played in 6 months. 2 games logged here at Kraków so far. Let's see if they're up for the task.
Lower push for Spinx. Has Exertion riding shotgun. And you can see that m0NESY's considering it. Holding on to this push in through lower. Will he be able to stop 4 guns? He's just looked away.
It's a lot of guns.
And the timing might not get worse than this for the Falcons. Backstab closing in. One player late, here's the steps at least. Kicksound won't last long. And Exertion, no way. No way you come through this.
What if you do?
He's going to listen for that tap and tries to get a move on. Tessez turns back around in time, and Falcons will find success in this pistol. 3 from m0NESY. Looked like he was going to miss the timings altogether. Well, he more than made up for it.
Important fake plant there, because MOUZ were planning to push on the plant through the window so the flank could come in. So that tap baits him into m0NESY's double. They turn around and deal with the flank. A scary pistol nonetheless, but Kixon hearing those steps at least gave info for Falcons. Well utilized. Torshi was just a monster in that previous map. His AWP, his scout, his openers. Well blocked in this round. Smoke comes down. Falcons won their first pistol in the second half on Inferno. They still lost to the Force. So really looking to keep it simple here and avoid that. We've got double car setup here. 3B strong. Falcons are going into a stack. But they've got AKs. What could go wrong?
Oh, well, with entries like that, Tessez meant to go ahead and make this easy. Nice. Exertion doesn't last long at the car, and I can't believe we just saw an MP5 SD get a kill. Some things really are wild about this series. Falcons winning a pistol and converting it.
Shocking.
And now getting off to a good start. Janko was saying on the desk that they had these slow starts, these slow beginnings, feeling like that's what did them in on Inferno. Well, at least dodging that here. It's a welcome change.
A necessity to set the record straight in this map. They know it's a map that MOUZ won't have the recent depth on, and the recent experience, and so sure, we see a lot of comebacks for MOUZ. We see strong resilience, but do we see the playbook if they are down? Well, we might have to find out. 2-0 start, soon to be made 3. Scout gets to go again.
And I'm feeling like you're already going to have a bit more depth. And then getting a call from the front would be a real nice double whammy for Kicksat. See Brolin trying to make a move. Falcons aren't overlooking this idea. Two players actually watching for aggression up into the top of mid. I don't think MOUZ could get any more passive. Or wait, Nico rather.
Oh, how? Brolin, like a bandit, gets out.
I mean, that's not the best of starts. You do still have this long control with MOUZ down here in pit. And a good tap down range. He'll find Torshi. That's the scout, hoping a sniper pit player out of the round. Ends up on the receiving end of these AK taps. Catwalk now pried open by the Falcons. And this is all the makings of them course correcting. Nico able to stop that flank in from behind. And with the scout deleted again, Brolin's double shouldn't come to matter.
Oh, why not? Got a bit of a gap. Nico plays on the edge of it, but the smoke is a wall here for MOUZ getting through. Not easy, and good that Nico moved with that spam coming in. There's a gun to save for exertion, and that's temptation enough. Falcons convert their pistol.
Falcons had a couple of chances to actually win on Inferno. One of the ones that stood out, I guess, was the Kiyasuke MOUZ 2v2 attempt that was the big clutch for exertion that kept the dream alive for this MOUZ squad, and then they would go on to win it. You know, I think it's a bit of a rough one. MOUZ hit a cracking shot to open the 1v2, but in the end it was all in vain. He never really took control of Inferno. Can be hard to do. As the AWPer here on Dust, no such excuses. And you want MOUZ hitting hard. He's 5-0 to open up right now, and he's going to bring out that AWP instantly, looking to put it to work from the get-go. Want to see a bit more from MOUZ here on the Falcons map pick.
Yeah, it's weird because you look at the numbers and it looks really good, and he did have a recovery from a slow start, but there were definitely some swings and misses.
Oh, long exec with spawns to boot. They've got a lot of bodies out the long side. They hear the AWP fire off as well. They know that Torshi started his round here. MOUZ are actually hanging around, trying to scrap for this space. Committed to their setup, committed to the anti-long rush, and it's ended up offering Brolin up on a silver platter. 5v4 for the Falcons. Torshi trying to reposition, ends up losing his head. Now just exertion, and it's entries all day from Nico.
Feels like a map that's made for the Falcons, right, with some of the individuals we have on this team. Extremely sharp shots for Nico. He's lost his gun again. Kiyasuke, we know he's a mechanical monster. And MOUZ on that mid-cross as well. Nico's going to jump in here. Oh no, he's looking to take that AWP out of their hands. Yoink, and Spinx really wants to take it back for Torshi.
Oh, they give MOUZ an aid to blow it away. Whoop!
Oh,
wait.
He blew it. I mean, it's wide. I guess it's still hard to pick up, so... Bomb might help.
Bomb will help.
Look how much they'll die on lot. MOUZ might die. Gotta run, gotta run. That bomb is big. MOUZ dies with the AWP. Spinx picks it up, and so does Kiyasuke, so everyone gets out.
Saw how much they were playing to deny it, though. You don't want to allow that AWP to keep making appearances for Torshi. No question that he's switched on in this series. Any round you can get if you're MOUZ, not having to worry about one for the other side, only makes your own guy hit that much harder as well. Would have just been a nice way to gain some early economic control in a game that you're already winning. But it doesn't pan out. And Cyclone gets ahead of this 4-0 lead with a very early timeout, just 5 rounds into the game. No spawns for long this time, so a bit more of a default round for the Falcons. Full anti-long rush setup here for MOUZ.
4 players.
You are very dedicated to this. That's the setup there with 2. Now you've got to disband that 4-man A-hold and just try and plug these holes that were open at the start.
Ooh.
Odyssey walks right into the Torshi AWP and he shows them early why Falcons were so keen to keep it out of play.
Getting very involved. Kisuke behind the molly as well. Peeking quite deep onto default. Does get blocked. At long, FAMAS might let Roland down as Tessus and Kixon try and contact out this position. Oh, it's ugly on the shot. Kisuke gets naded on short. There's a man up. They again don't know about Spinx. He's always hiding out. He's always cheeky, this guy, when you least expect him. But with that pick from Nico on an aggressive B play, Spinx doesn't get to reveal his strong position. That bomb is rotating out. Missed shot for Torshi. Nico doesn't cross. Torshi, I think he's figured it out. Has the line locked. Gonna peek into Nico. Ooh, a terrifying peek. And one he trifles with again. Spinx flank, apparently gonna be the answer.
Right where he's needed to be. He's just missed that timing though.
This is weird now. He's gonna kill Nico, but they get the sight.
They know a kill's coming to them, right? They know that Nico will get served up on this wrap round. And so there he is, shot in the back. That leaves you in a retake, leaves you in a 3-on-2. Tessus is very, very low from these earlier fights. Kixan might have to put up some numbers here. Wasn't his strong suit back on Inferno. Given a flash that feels like it both should have been and needed to be that kill, because now he's lost Tessus in the sight and Torshi's hot for the trade. They tried to keep that AWP away from him, but it found its way back into its owner's hands and he puts it to work.
MOUZ are just the best team to catch you off guard with the kill feed reading, right? When you're going, oh, B player dead, B player up, whatever. That doesn't really seem to matter when you're with MOUZ because Spinx is always in somewhere unsuspecting, right? You see the surprise from Nico on the cam when he gets shot in the back. MOUZ are the best team to make a case for positionless CS, as other problems would appear if you tried, but Spinx is always catching teams off guard. Takes a lot of resources and a lot of risks, but ones that MOUZ are happy to take. Spinx back on B, and Falcons meet him there.
With the AWP covering the line, they know they don't have to worry about these closer angles still. Doesn't make it any easier. Nico and Kisuke went looking for those openings. Tessus will get...
Oh, no.
Oh, don't lose this fight. Don't lose this fight. It starts to feel really, really rough if you let Brolin get away with that. Now you're still in a recoverable position here. Honestly waiting. Hoping that someone overextends, someone takes a cursory glance into the tunnels, and this AWP will be given a chance to level the playing field.
This is pixel perfect on the hold, right? No one's giving him an inch.
Yeah, Spinx not the type of guy to get too eager in these positions.
They know the AWP's alive. Why risk it? Why give m0NESY a way back into this round? It was supposed to be locked off of this B hit. And that smoke as the bomb's coming in. Further irritation.
Tessus as a nade, you could blow it open, but it's going to feel pretty desperate. And it's a move I don't really think you love if you're the Falcons.
Last second hit, I think. Or just the save. Respectable to keep the AWP in play. This is the right call for the Falcons. That kill on the flank doesn't really open up the opportunity. MOUZ also continually throw util. Molly just came down on B. If Falcons tried to hit that site, it would not have gone well. So, second round taken for MOUZ. Good B hold.
Counter-terrorists win.
Nice block on B. Guys, they have one more pie, okay?
Actually keeping track of the money. It's the money that he's on. Falcons timeout ahead of one more rifle round.
Seeing a bit of frustration there for Nico, not liking the tone set in these last two.
I mean, that flash lands as they get out tunnels. If it comes a millisecond sooner, maybe he doesn't die on the first entry.
Sonic with his timeout, and what was very interesting here is it's not one where he's necessarily dominating the airwaves. There was a lot of interjection there down the pack. Everyone with a point to say for the Falcons. Still waiting for Monacy on this AWP to even really fire a shot off. Had it in every round possible, and still yet to get a kill with it.
Torshi's getting quite involved. Might be breaking this mid-smoke open. Spinx starting aggressive and lower. Waiting for the clear. Torshi gets tagged on the break. They still don't know about Spinx, but he ticks in that Molotov, and now Monacy's running him down, chasing him in lower. Spinx gets out with the kill. Messy at long for Brolin, but damage done, and Falcons just have to rush. Torshi's pushed off the line.
Really, really low on health here. Even hanging around to drop that smoke, it nearly gets him killed. It's not much of a smoke either. Still able to path round it are the Falcons. Molly's slow their roll. Backstab on the cards for Spinx, and I mean, he's playing an aggressive move right now. Then no one's looking. Spinx is the round in the palm of his hand. Is he ready to strip it away? Runs out of ammo. And Tessez with a must-win fight. Keeps things straight and narrow for the Falcons, or so you'd like to think. Torshi's already committed to the idea of saving. Jimmy's hanging around, waiting to see if he can make this interesting. Up over spells disaster, because he goes right into Tessez. So they don't know it, but they've won this round. Torshi was out of there. They left it to Jimmy just to see if he could cause chaos in that round, in that 1-on-3.
Almost feels reductive, but it's just whiffs for MOUZ in this round, right? Brolin getting damage on long feels nice in the moment, but doesn't take a kill with him. And Spinx, great flank. He killed Monacy in middle in the open, but he can't capitalize on backs turned. Even the low player takes a lot of bullets, revealing his flank. Second whiffs on Tessez, who goes on to kill Jimmy. I mean, any better shots for MOUZ, and I think they just win this round flat out. So reduced to the gunfights, Falcons favor up to 5.
Tess has died to the bomb.
Yeah, it's
not ideal, like in the early stages of this one. If you remember, Falcons sunk a good chunk of resources into trying to remove the AWP from play. Whenever they're winning, they're not squeaky clean, such that they're rolling in money yet on this T side. And another full buy comes out for the MOUZ squad with that AWP saved forward. Nico AWP has the long spawn, going to try his hand at the opening, and MOUZ, they've been making sure to really pad this part of the map. They've got multiple players here. Nico lands a tag. This AWP's feeling cursed right now. No one's got a kill with it yet for the Falcons. It's just been tags at most.
It's better than nothing. And Brolin has just been dead for none on the long position. The 2 times Falcons have tested him, so whether or not they know they have that tag, going back into long is not a bad move.
Yeah, we're still really waiting for either AWP to stand tall and dominate this game. And so as we look on in these next couple of rounds, I'm waiting to see, you know, will it be Monacy recovering from this slow start? Reminder, he had the AWP from the, 3rd round of play. Or will it be Torshi to stand and deliver on the CT half? Looked like they were going to play into his bomb site. They still could with Nico floating around in the tunnels. The option is left there for the Falcons. If they don't like what they see on Cat, they can go back. They can change their mind. Right now, you're happy you're at least burning some util out of the MOUZ squad. Maybe going to try and send Kiyosuke down into the spawn for a backstab, but nobody here, nobody home. And eyes set on B for this split.
It's a good position for Jimmy. Tess is on his own. Bomb goes in, and Jimmy just drops it on the ground. Kicks and needs this trade. Desperate. Does come up with it. Exertion traded in the spawn. Torshi's on with another miss, and these AWPs aren't going anywhere quick. Monacy finally finds his first kill since the 3rd round, and that might signal the save. Falcons 6th, locked in on this T side. Torshi's miss cost them everything. 1 for 1 until that point.
I think you're very, very happy that you get through this round if you're the Falcons. It's a nice big picture idea, but a number of things nearly go wrong for them, right? Awkward spacing on Tessez as he makes his way out towards the double doors. An important trade from the captain. Kicksan, his double opener, worth its weight in gold to the Falcons. You know, that round can start to spiral very quickly. Then a miss from Torshi in through the tunnels, and suddenly the fact you hemorrhage those players from mid, losing Tesses, losing the player that dropped in a spawn in Kiyosuke don't matter so much once you've got the B site under lock.
Huge trade for Kixon. He had a pretty rough first map. Couldn't win his fights. He comes up with the kills to Jimmy and the backstab to Exertion, who was hiding out in spawn. So Falcons on a hot streak.
See with the boost, a chance to try and hit a cross shot, but he elects not to take it. Instead, just watching for lower tunnels, and that will at least make life easier for Nico and Kiyosuke, who are moving quickly now into this part of the map.
Well, a lot of space for 140.
I mean, even this kind of feels nice, because earlier on in the game, you were worried about those aggressive moves from Spinx. He was being a real nuisance in through the tunnels. Another miss from the Torshi Orb. Exertion makes up for it.
Okay, Torshi whiffing was not on my bingo card. That's back-to-back rounds. At least he has his teammate by his side. So how does Kixon call them out of this in a 4v5? Nico has been finding great openers into bomb sites. Might need to again.
Almost wonder if hearing the orb fire on A going to give you enough cause for concern just to stay away from that side of the map. Saw that as soon as it fired off, Nico went and retook those upper tunnels, and so maybe looking at the mid to B split here. Once again, just running back the same round from the Falcons.
Yeah, they're going to have about 20 seconds when that smoke fades at upper B, so it's not on Nico right now. It's on his team getting out on this mid position. No smoke for it. Torshi flicks back. Good connection. Modesty owns the line. Bomb making it in. Or not.
Stab. Spinx from the window. Catches them by surprise on that mid crossing. And with no smokes there, it was always going to be an uphill battle for the Falcons, to say the very least. Something had to go really right, and it all goes horribly wrong. Nico never even gets a chance to play, and again, we find ourselves looking at a Spinx multi-kill round to get MOUZ on the board. No doubting his output in this map right now. He's top of the charts, 8 and 4.
Yeah,
and he's been omnipresent. You're always worried about where Spinx is going to crop up. You've seen him aggressive in lower tunnels. He's backstabbed you on a long flank. He played trigger discipline in the pit. And now he's appeared emerging late out through the B window to shut down a B split. Here,
there, and everywhere. In your nightmares. MOUZ looking to recover their half. Breaking the money would be one step in the right direction to do so. Odyssey Orb again. Torshi takes his up cat. Odyssey waits for a break of the smoke. Spinx is holding it, but it's going to go in deep instead. Knowing the timing, that Kiyosuke comes out lower. Great grenades here for MOUZ. Counter Kiyosuke. He's been getting shut down in middle and on short. 1 and 6. Down to just 20 health. Might want to hand that gun over. Brolin, stronger position than before.
And even this kind of sucks for Kiyosuke. You know, every party wants him to be online, wants him to be feeling good. You've got to take the gun off of him, though, in this round. You just don't really have the resources to go around.
Well, Kixon's 2-0 on opening duels, so he's going to have to come in first here and bail Falcons out in another mid to be.
And again, Spinx is in the right position. Does he have another multi-kill in him?
Surely he tucks it out top, swings, and now he lets Jimmy play.
Takes that contact next. They'll trade it back and forth. It's not a multi-kill though, and Monacy's got his in the downtime. Backstab on Jimmy. Ready for it. Monacy's pulled the knife in the smoke, and it all gets a bit crazy. Big chaotic miss for Torshi, and that's surely going to cost him. They've got him boxed into this corner. 15 seconds left. You can't actually hold this forever. They've got to make a move, and Kiyosuke will.
Monacy knife in smoke. What the hell is that? Is he just swinging while he runs through? Jimmy disappears. Monacy puts him in the morgue. Triple kill, deals with long flank. Show me this. Runs through and just spam stabs till he gets the kill. And great composure in the 2-on-1. They haven't boxed in this 15 seconds. They have to make a decision, and Falcons just stick to the kill. Now Modest feeling it, goes for another pick, does miss, gonna get molly. And they does nothing.
They did literally no damage.
Wow.
I have no idea how Monacy gets out unscathed from that.
Show that back.
Felt like the perfect punish. Spinx was still able to find a man advantage for MOUZ in amidst all the chaos. And so no opener for the Falcons, they've got to look elsewhere.
He literally shouldn't be alive. That landed dead on him.
Well, somehow, someway, he's been given a second chance in this round.
Roland just pushed long doors again. Will he make a move of it? He's got to trust his team at this point. Doesn't want to be the liability giving up a kill in the man advantage. So let your boys hold. 40 seconds for Falcons to make a decision. They might be tempted by another mid to B. It's Monacy upper. And one more smoke out mid to B here for Falcons. Spinx and Jimmy once again.
Spinx up close, doesn't get out with anything, and Jimmy falls right away. It's exertion on a mad dash through the mid-smoke, doing big damage. Don't tell me that the fact Monacy didn't die to that nade will really come to matter in the long run. It's down to this 1v1. Can't quite find the bomb. Roland might feel temptation to go through that. Time's so low, Monacy's just going to get the numbers plugged in. Surely not. The man that wasn't even meant to be at play, was supposed to be dead to the util in tunnels, has a clutch right here, shut down, a lockdown of it, and finally, Monacy's demise brought about by MOUZ.
It was feeling meant to be, wasn't it? It was all building for Monacy. Second chance at life, hitting his shots, feeling fancy, and still Brolin squeezes out one final round here for MOUZ. We go into number 12. And MOUZ are looking for these scraps at the end of the half. Monacy dancing with death and hitting very hard after going 5 rounds straight without a kill.
Nice looting!
So MOUZ really have it in them. They did it with a 5 in the first half of Inferno.
See that whole belt of util left back over at ramp. That's for MOUZ later, should this come down to the cap play. And, well, Falcons are taking it quickly, but also quietly. A combo that's hard to pull off. There's no info here. MOUZ are aware that this has been the gap, and so pressure's going to be on for exertion. He's got that full bounty of util just to keep replenishing Catwalk. Keep it uncomfortable for the Falcons. And it's at the turn of that smoke that they are going to change direction here. Looking into mid now. Ooh, nearly awkward timing for Torshi. He's going to catch Nico as he tries to lob them nades over on short. Gotta hope that giving that smoke over was worth it just to get this exec rolling in, because there's the second volley of util from the MOUZ squad.
Where do you think it's going?
Play out in towards A. Exertion's got no more util to fall back on now. He's just got to back his aim. Bit of support from the Torshi AWP, and this short play gets churned up, shut down. MOUZ looking good for a 5-round recovery as Tessez is iced out. That little pocket of util and a reactivation of Exertion on the second map has left MOUZ in with a chance. Falcons hoping that they can recover and take this one all the way to Ancient. They put in a winning half there with a bit of help from a rare pistol win to get things going. MOUZ lagging lightly behind. Now move on to the T half. This is a map yet to really be dominated by any one AWPer. Honestly, maybe taking the cake in that regard, but I think both still yet to truly leave their mark on Dust2. We're left wondering who gets activated first.
CT side for Monacy could be where it gets sick. Thought she was getting just smoked off in middle, wasn't really having any CAD XX to get involved. Let's see what MOUZ's new T side looks like on a map that they've only played twice in 6 months. Austin was the last outing before Kraków. And we're not in Texas anymore.
Oh, good catch for Monacy. Flashed in, set up by his squad and propelled forward on those dual Berettas. Passing into the site. m0UZ just continues his reign of terror on these dualies, and it's all the double pistols getting multi-kills. 3 for m0UZ, 2 for Kyosuke. And an 8th round secured as both pistol rounds now go the way of the Falcons.
All right, things are starting to fall in their favor, huh? Falcons with an 8-5. It's exactly the score they had back on Inferno. Difference is they lost a force buy straight away. It's going to be a lot harder for MOUZ to pull that out of their hat. No bomb plant should be no investment. So Falcons favored here on this second map, as it was always meant to be. One of their more comfortable picks.
And if slow starts were the issue on Inferno, that excuse does not exist here on Dust2. Doesn't get sweeter than this. Said earlier, but getting a call from the front on a map that your opponent doesn't have a lot of reps on is a very liberating feeling for the Falcons as well. So a lot going their way. Down to them just to capitalize on it. The ball is very much in their court. Good timing on that, but just falls a little shy.
MOUZ knew it was coming. They backed up after the spot. Trying to minimize damage, but only for a moment, because this one is going nowhere. 4 Glocks. Nico moving over at the right time.
Well contained, just looking to keep this clean and 5 alive. Job well done for the Falcons. No issue there. First gun round for MOUZ, and not the first of many if they don't find success with it. Dust2 could be over very, very quickly. A far cry from the overtimes of Inferno and the back and forth nature of that opening map. Bonus round for the Falcons, so they're going to come through with an aggressive look in this first rifle. Nico gets fed to MOUZ out there in middle.
Don't know what happened. It felt like Falcons changed their mind. They went heavy too lower, and then they decided to bail. You don't get to leave. MOUZ are so aggressive out mid. That was such a quick push. Falcons get completely caught off guard. To be fair, you're not expecting the mid take to come in that quickly. So Falcons caught off guard by the pace, and a 5v3. MOUZ cannot afford to waste this one. Uh-oh.
There's a lot of damage done here. Might be left looking at Spinx again, asking him to save the day, and it's all going to come down to if he can nail Kyosuke here. He gets dealt with straight up. 3 guys low. Exertion the only one with health. Brolin helps out massively with that entry. Are they ready for Kicksan? Spam is good. Spam is very, very good. That's Exertion now removed. And the molly doesn't pop. It was caught by Kicksan. Oh dear. Oh no, MOUZ left clutching at straws as Brolin is doing all he can to keep them in the conversation. One shy of all the kills, and there's Jimmy to save the day, breaking through and stopping that weird round from coming in for this Falcons squad.
3v5 into a 1v1 from Falcons. A very nice try, but Jimmy is too late. So late, Kyosuke doesn't expect it. Thinks he's trading on short. In fact, right on time to find the first round of the half here for MOUZ. First buy coming in hot. Not the end of the world for Falcons. They get caught off an aggressive move. They have plenty more chances. Oh my, Jimmy, they have no idea. He just jumps through the smoke. Complete disrespect. They're spamming it, and they line up. A very naughty move from Jimmy P. And again, risks must be taken by the Falcons. Nico staring down, hiding out.
You hear the orb fire off from the site. You could stand to overlook Nico. Saw the heavy long setup, saw them trying to fight for the space. You know that someone was here throwing the flashes for them to go and enable that fight.
This could get very scary here for MOUZ again. It's a 5v3 that I'm
through
not certain of.
Oh, Molly forces Nico back. Question is, did they hear the tag on it? That little jiggle up didn't get him spotted. They didn't see him. Nico, only good for one. It's a quick turn for Torshi, and so even though they play into the stack, they get through it. That was all 5 players for the Falcons inside of the A site at one point in time.
MOUZ are getting advantages, and then they're slowing really well and just letting these rounds get squeezed out. The question is, are Falcons going to keep giving them these double kills? It was the double lower push. It was Jimmy through the smoke. 2 very easy setups for MOUZ. Both closed out.
I mean, also just what a time for exertion to start to really, you know, leave a bit of a mark on this game. It was his slow start on Inferno that gave you so much worry, right? Just questioning, could he kind of bring himself back into this series? He's a really important piece of the MOUZ squad. And because this is one of those teams that doesn't have the super identifiable star power, star player, you know, the desk were even saying this, Dupree was mentioning it, whenever 1 or 2 players have an off game, you really feel it in the MOUZ squad. Well, he's had massive impact here on Dust2. This is set to be a 1-round game.
Full B gamble here. Full pistols. And MOUZ, if they just walk up into A, it's going to be their round confirmed.
So as this one is tightening up, I think it's a good idea just to remind ourselves of what's on the line here, right? This is the do or die spot. This is the move into the Toron, locking in a playoff appearance versus going home. These are 2 squads that didn't manage to make it to the playoffs last year, where you have to go back to former rosters to see the last time they were in a playoffs at this tournament. Both teams with a point to prove, number 3 and 4 in the world, and one of them is going to be shy of that playoff mark.
Oh, yeah.
And you thought that Falcons are ready to extend this to be a 3-mapper, to take it all the way. They come off the back of reaching the grand finals with a stand-in and without Zonic out at Bounty at the start of the year. And now they're in a position where MOUZ are so close, they're within touching distance of tying this up on a map that they've had next to no experience on since Austin, only starting to play it again here in Kraków.
Yeah, and that was forced, right? They just really don't want Anubis. We already have 5 of the 6 playoff teams locked in. This is the final spot. We've got Spirit, G2, Furia, Vitality, Aurora, and one of these 2. 2 teams that missed playoffs last year. MOUZ had a stand-in. And 2 teams desperately fighting for the Toron. Well, Falcons really botched this lead on their map pick of all places. Keep in mind, winner of this is going to draw the bracket against G2, so it could be Nico v Hunter in the arena in a quarterfinal. That was what Falcons are playing for. But right now, MOUZ are making something out of this second map. A slow and steady comeback. Rounds gifted to them somewhat. Advantages certainly hemorrhaged by the Falcons. And this buy is not pretty. After the full USPs, they only have 2 players with utility. Kitless, Orpless, Hopeless? Uh-oh. Might be a bit deep here for the second cubby, so kicks and survives on the edge of the molly. This is Torshi alone in tunnel right now. MOUZ check their flank. Long block. If anything, that's a favor to MOUZ. Going out long in this position against this double setup would go very well for Falcons, you'd like to think. It's going to be a retake round here for MOUZ coming out into m0NESY and TeSeS.
Flashes off the mark, won't do anything about these players. Out towards long, exertion. Sure, you've dealt with TeSeS, but that's the beauty of this bait and switch. m0NESY gets all the reward. And so long as contained aggression in the tunnels as Kixan goes hunting. Leaves it just on Spinx. Not long for this world with buddy system employed all across the map for the Falcons. Bait and switch at long, double tunnels push in the downtime, and it'll see them through on a double digits. You're breathing a little easier. There's still more to do here, but it's a massive step in the right direction.
Well, Falcons have been playing together on the CT side. That's the one thing you can't criticize, but obviously a bit audacious at times with the lower push in the first gun round. It's how MOUZ took advantage in this half. But nice double setup on the long side again.
Ooh, feigning a long control round, but they're not actually playing for it. They did the smoke in from CT and the flashes on Tesses. It's really huge that he gets that smoke spam there on Brolin, or else
Spinx has come through.
He would have had a big problem on his hands, and he still might. Spinx is not respecting this smoke, playing right through it. Teed up with a flashbang, looking for m0NESY. He's brought him down low. They know that Tesses can't have gone far. They know he's got to be close by. This has put Falcons immediately. Their backs are up. They're preparing themselves for a retake all of a sudden as this hit has come through at a blistering pace.
Oh no.
Exertion's even playing it forward. Will you expect this much aggression from Exertion? And you've got to save. Round's been decided in seconds. That is a decisive call from MOUZ. They called the bluff on the long take, and they were right in that.
What a move for Spinx as well. I love that he plays ahead of that timing, walks through that smoke. He knows even in a 5v4, Falcons are not going to peek back on long for info. They have the block, they have the advantage, so Spinx just walks it in. I just love watching him play. Takes a huge risk, but if they'd sit there and do nothing, MOUZ are locked out at long. There is almost no way to win that round. And so Spinx gets involved, sends them packing, forces m0NESY to save off that high damage, and gets MOUZ a bomb plant. Right now, Falcons are going to need a double-bedded coffin because they just keep getting lined up.
Yeah, m0NESY was shot, m0NESY I think. Okay. He had AK?
Spinx calling the orb save. MOUZ know what they're up against. One-round game.
Even the fact you come through with a round like that, correctly anticipating the smoke screen of a pretend long control round from the Falcons. It's the decisiveness of the call. It's the way that it staggers you, and the fact that it's very much kept the pressure on the Falcons. Now down to an AWP head-to-head out here in middle. Both of them miss. Heavy mid setup. Trying to anticipate what MOUZ's next move might be. Now the AWP fired off, and so m0NESY is going to be the first guy to rotate away.
It's not moving far though. It's NiKo alone in the bomb site. Again, another round where Falcons just seemingly have no utility, right? These rounds are getting very expensive. They're only saving a couple of guns. They're having to drop weapons over, and they're burning util quick. Final smoke out. NiKo holding his last incendiary as well. Falcons are not going to be able to block this till the end of the clock.
Even that's a bit of a knock-on effect of just how pacey the last round was, right? You don't feel like you can afford to sit on the little util you had. You had to burn it early. Long take util, double flashes, trying to bring them out into the fold. Now, last time, he had a multi-kill in that bait and switch setup. This time, Tesses has to do it alone because that smoke cuts him off from the rest of his team. It's Tesses versus 2 for this long control. Able to get out with a boatload of damage, but only one of the kills. Torshi just buying you time, holding these rotates off from middle, leaves you with only NiKo to worry about.
They run at him and he whiffs. Gap on the smoke, forced by NiKo. Catches Brolin on the cross. It's Jimmy 1v3, and NiKo is just daring to come through on a second timing. Catches him throwing nades, and Falcons find 11.
That's NiKo giving a bit of disrespect back the other way, right from the rush round up through long. He now throws caution of the wind just to ice out Jimmy. Doesn't give him any room to work with in that 1v3 clutch.
MOUZ, all of this, you know, tenacity in the T side, all of these advantages converted, and now nothing to show for it. They call a timeout, but the buy is the big problem. We may be talking 2 or 3 AKs at best.
Exertion is doing a lot of talking in this timeout. He's the guy with the biggest gun in the round and the most aggressive piece of this MOUZ squad.
Torshi's whiffs, man, now they're really starting to cost him. Could have controlled the round there in middle. Could have allowed his team to slow it down. But he just gets run at.
Because he's usually so full of life and you're used to hearing him cheering, used to hearing him celebrating. These guys spend a lot of time on the road together. Everyone in the team likely knows that Torshi isn't feeling his best self right now.
After a great Inferno.
In the same way they were trying to hype Exertion up and bring him back into the fold, they've got to do the same with Torshi because you're dead on, right? It wasn't really much of an AWP's game throughout a lot of that first half, but there's no doubt in the m0NESY's found the greater impact out of the two of them. Rising up towards top of the board for his team. It stands to only get better as he might find himself in the right place on the tail end of a cat exec.
Yeah, that's what m0NESY's hoping for.
Remember, Exertion was the guy doing a lot of the talking in that timeout. Him, Brolin, Cyclone, those were the three mouths going. Let's see what they've cooked up. Let's see what Exertion tries to do with one of the three hero guns in this round.
Jimmy lurking with one of the two AKs at long. He's going to be out of the action for a while now, and Tessez just holds the smoke. MOUZ feigning something here in middle. Does just feel like they're going to end on a catwalk play, even if mid to B nades come in. MOUZ trying to force Falcons to move. Will they panic? Nico does.
Well, you hear that drop down, you know you're getting the reaction that you wanted. This A side gets a little weaker. Now the play out through the long doors is a little early from Jimmy. Wonder if that gives up the aim of the game. He will get out with his one. m0NESY dealt with in the head-to-head, and Tess says not on that AWP. He's going to get brushed aside.
So much success all over the map. Falcons just have no room. They get squeezed in their sight. Spinx picked mid with a pistol. It's all come unraveled here for the Falcons yet again. MOUZ's broken buy breaks through. That is an unreal round to win.
They will just not let Falcons get comfortable down the tail end of Dust2. Anytime they're winning a round, there is an instant response from MOUZ. This one came with severe limitations, and it hinged on that plan from the timeout working flawlessly, and it did. They got the exact reactions they wanted. Jimmy and Spinx both helped out getting a kill on the extremities. One lay out towards the long doors. Spinx, maybe the unaccounted one over towards middle, only sweetened the deal.
You come into that round with just two AKs and a Galil. You leave with an AWP, you leave with everything, and you leave with Falcons shattered on this CT side. We've got two players on 1,400. Gonna have to find a way to make it work. Zonic's job now. Kicks and instantly hands off his M4 to m0NESY. And similar to Inferno, with those last few rounds, Harry, if you remember, it was traded rounds again and again and again and again. We just had 5 in a row traded out, which wrecks that economy. It means that coming down into those final rounds.
Look, Inferno was meant to be decided by the money. That ended up not really happening with Deeg wins out of the Falcons.
Sure.
But they've got to hope that once more these low econ rounds can come up in their favor, or else it really does start to spell a bit of a grim picture.
The devastating part is Falcons are on CT side. If they're all in. If they lose this round right now, MOUZ get 11, and Falcons probably have to give them 12. This is a horrible position to be in for Falcons on a map that was meant to be a lock-in for them. 8-5 lead. MOUZ have not given up. Kyosuke committed. Are they ready?
It's a spot. That one's free. Oh, and there's even a follow-up miss from Torshi once more. Could have had that trade at bare minimum, made it a 2-for-1. But Kyosuke lives to continue fighting in this round.
That's a map-winning play right there. Like, this is the way we're teeing this up. This is Falcons about to be broken coming into round number 23. Kyosuke might just have saved this entire game with that double entry. Falcons need to finish what he started. There's not a bit of utility but this flash.
Yeah, you still very much have to win these gunfights from here on out. The round is by no means over. If it's left to a retake, You don't have the util to try and claw yourself back in. You're relying on individuals. Nico, backstab comes in. Torshi caught out in no man's land, and they will shut down the short play. Spinx got 20 seconds and too much ground to cover. Gonna head for the hills, and that's if Kixan lets him. Falcons continue this back and forth, this trade of rounds. And they move on to map point.
I don't think I can sing the praises enough. If Kiyotsuki doesn't get that double, I'm all-inning a MOUZ win and a 2-0, and Falcons eliminated from the tournament, MOUZ into playoffs. That just feels like it's meant to be. Double kill for Kiyotsuki, keeps them in this game, gives them map point. Unreal impact. They had nothing.
Up until now, MOUZ have always been willing to go blow for blow, tit for tat. You take one, we take one. Well, that's got to keep up if they want to stay alive now on Dust2. Kiyotsuki, more damage, put down range out towards middle. Kixan with a swing, trying to seal this here and now. Does a bit of damage onto that second player in. Man advantage for the Falcons, but a tricky B-side retake nonetheless.
What's going for?
Only one more smoke left in play. They'll be able to replenish the doors. They'll at least shut down one of these angles throughout most of that bomb timer. But full belt to util on Monacy. Mollies, smokes, nades are plenty for the Falcons. They're going to start cooking here, ready to go on this retake. It all starts with a Monacy flash.
High flash, Zershan waits behind the big box, blinded are MOUZ as Falcons come flying in. Wings clipped, cut down, Exertion clutch, and it's Monacy running amok, headshot over the top. Exertion keeps this game going.
From a very, very quiet Inferno, burning them alive here in the penultimate round of Dust2. Exertion keeps the dream right there and right for the taking.
Back-to-back overtimes, perhaps, as MOUZ keep themselves in it.
What a recovery from Exertion. That is now twice over in these maps. He's had potentially game-defining clutches. Can MOUZ realize the chance that Exertion's just given them?
On scope on lock.
Again, you have no util for the Falcons to rely upon.
Go arms Monacy.
He's playing an MP5 SD. I never thought I'd see the day.
It was Tessa's earlier, wasn't it? On the T side. Monacy bought this and handed right back. Well, you got to make do with what you got. A B gamble. Kiyotsuki, the AWPer, he's got no Kevlar.
Not even the first time this has happened on this CT side. Kiyotsuki's had it a number of times over Monacy.
It's hot potato. Kixan's MP5 now. It's yours, buddy. I'm not playing this stuff. MOUZ, they don't know. A cat execute is a GG into overtime.
Yeah, for Falcons, you were just really, really hoping they play into your hands. They play into this stack. If they don't, you're relying on a huge individual moment from these long players who might get left out of position entirely. And if this comes down to a retake, you don't have utility. You don't have kids. The odds massively shift in MOUZ's favor. Up until this point on their road, they haven't been able to string two together since right at the beginning of this T side. Every single time, it's just been back and forth, round for round, and that won't be enough here. They're going into Kiyotsuki on this secondary AWP. Nails that opener. Exertion, the clutcher from that last round, the opener for MOUZ, dead first. And Kiyotsuki's not content with just the one. The backstab connects. Jimmy wrestles back a couple. They've given up the sight control. Oh, that's nearly the team nade. But a 2v5, dangerously close to coming in.
Walking in, waiting for the flank. Tessa's running. There is no kit right now. 2v5, down to 2v1. Overtime balance. Tessa's comes in. They know he's here, ready to swing off Spinx's contact. It's surely closed. Jimmy takes it all the way into overtime. 3 kills from Jim Pat, back at the site, and back into overtime we go. Falcons can't finish. That was their chance. That was their opportunity. That was the game.
They get the exact play they were hoping for, the exact move out of MOUZ they were ready for, and even the multi-kill from Kiyotsuki is not enough to do it.
Oh, he's kicking himself, the window swing.
Okay, look, at bare minimum, if you want to look for some positives here for the Falcons.
I'm feeling so positive.
If you really want to try and search for a grain of positivity right now, They've not had proper buys in a long while with the trade of these rounds back and forth, and that util really did start to matter. It started to restrict the playbook a hell of a lot.
It's true.
That won't be an issue here in overtime.
This is such a roller coaster. I mean, they did the hard job. They did the difficult bit by winning with that Kiyasuke double up on the catwalk play. That gave them map point. That was meant to be the game. And MOUZ just find a way. 2v5. Thinking about Ancient. We play on. It's a roller coaster and a screws loose. Will Falcons get flung out here in the group stage of Kraków?
Odyssey back on his orb. No longer handing it off to Kiyasuke. He's going to go far and wide to look for the opener out here on short. Finds that 5v4. Mollies get traded, but a good read there. Good head on their shoulders. Nico's provided the escape route, countering that Molotov with one of his own, and that will keep m0NESY in this round.
MOUZ accept it. They trust in their round to close out. They don't want to dig the grave any deeper in a 3-on-5. m0NESY gets to reposition, and Nico as well. Back down into middle. Meant to be smoke. MOUZ making it moves. And they have to hit B at this point. Log by some time. And edging closer is Exertion. Break on the smoke. Torchy's dead first.
All right, Kixan up close. Oh, cancelled by Exertion out through mid. And a 3v5, albeit for only a moment. Only for a faint second. But unable to hold on to it, the Falcons. MOUZ get through with a plant. Even a lurk from Spinx. This will be the last thing you're expecting. You think middle's clear. You think Exertion was the only guy on this mid-offensive. But Spinx wrapping all the way through the tunnels. Now stands to rob this one out from underneath the Falcons. They're readying themselves up in the window. Spinx is playing it forward, and he's got them right where he wants them. There's the close. Spinx lines them up, knocks them down, and MOUZ take that first in OT.
2v5, 3v5, back to back. I know it's quick trades instantly, but those mini-maps are still coming in. Those screenshots for MOUZ in impossible rounds. Falcons. This was meant to be theirs, their go-to map pick in this series against a MOUZ that haven't played Dust2 in 6 months. And right now they have the round lead in overtime.
Can't praise him enough either. Spinx has been such an impressive force throughout the entire series. We've talked a lot about Exertion and the recovery he went on after that first half of Inferno. Spinx, meanwhile, he has been an absolute rock. And the worst kind, it's the boulder that's always chasing you. You're always looking over your shoulder, wondering where he's going to pop up next. It's a huge step towards the Tauron for MOUZ. Gonna need a couple more like that before they put the Falcons to rest here on Dust2.
Another double orb. Another reach for the stars. Miss for m0NESY. No punish for MOUZ.
A lot of noise made on the catwalk. Trying to bait whatever they can out of the Falcons, trying to extract info and put pressure on. And they have split this defense. There may as well be a line drawn through the center of the map. These guys on A don't get to be involved. If the B site can't withstand this hit that's coming its way, this round is over for the Falcons. Kixan is spammed to open it up, and again it's Spinx to do it.
This B-site's just been abused all game long for MOUZ, and they're going to go back into it. The only change today is m0NESY is here, but he is alone.
We're not talking, pretend lines through the map anymore. There's a very real one. Those smokes cut the map in half. m0NESY Doesn't know where to look. They're coming for him through middle. They're coming for him through the tunnels. Everywhere that MOUZ goes leads to the same end, and it's death inside of B. Falcons are out of this round. They are out of the picture. 3v5 required. It would have to start right now with this kill on Exertion. And even then, it's still a huge uphill battle, damn near vertical. Exertion makes matters worse.
Impossible here for Falcons. They have to try, but even then, they know it's not going to come through. They walk away.
And because they've been leaning on the double orbs, if they want to have them going forward, if they want to have that as a fixture of this CT half, they have to save here. The option to retake, the option to try isn't even available.
Not that it would make any damn difference. This is back-to-back rounds into overtime for MOUZ. This is 4 straight. NiKo will get his orb, and they take it away.
This could damn well be a flawless T-side from MOUZ, spearheaded by Spinx and Exertion, who are on the warpath. If Torshi was the hype man, if Torshi was the guy keeping them going on Inferno, well, he's now handed that baton over to Exertion. Carrying the flame, carrying the torch. Brolin dead first in this round. It's Kiyasuke on that orb to open things up.
No wonder he feels like he has to get involved. The last round that Falcons won comes off of his double kill in middle.
They lost to 2v5. They lost to 3-on-5. This one starts 4v5 for MOUZ.
Falcons grit their teeth. And MOUZ walk up cat. MOUZ tested. Alone. Here's the exec coming.
This shot just sails right past Exertion. Util gonna rain in from NiKo out towards the spawn. That's all they have to work with. MOUZ follows up 3v5.
Easy,
Falcons have
right?
had their struggles at converting on these rounds, but this time they swarm, they fight it together, and they overrun the MOUZ squad, at least getting away with something right at the end of their CT half.
Oh, it's been a minute since the Falcons round, 4 straight for MOUZ, but they do grab onto some breathing room, not sitting, facing elimination for an entire T side, because that's what's on the line. Playoff attendance for number 3 or number 4, but not both. It's tense.
MOUZ's been shy at going for the mid fight. Shy going for the mid pick. Torshi, he'll play it forward. Takes that orb out towards short, and there's a nade combo to follow it up. NiKo is super wounded. And they've lost Kiyasuke as well, the man that held the promise of bailing them out, of saving them in some of these rounds, dead first.
Torshi repositions as this fades, could be a big problem. He's going to go gamble B. Brolin at long, he was a bit of a problem in regulation. Falcons were abusing him, they were getting away, and he never got a kill. Is now the time that's going to change? Ooh.
Oh, they hear that smoke. That might be the invitation. That's the chance to go.
Spinx tucks in.
No, he's going to struggle to get gun on in time. But again, we've talked about Spinx and just how annoying he's been. How it feels like he's always in the right place. Here at the car, they force him wide with that molly. A very awkward miss for MOUZ. Spinx given a second chance. Damage done on the long push, but 4 players out there in the open challenging him. Not even he's capable of those numbers. Exertion now next on the chopping block. How will he fare? Can he rise to the occasion where Brolin and Spinx came up short? Doesn't have Util to help him here. It's just got to come down to the mechanics, got to come down to the aim. There's 20 seconds left for the Falcons. They're going in with so little time. Swing out from Exertion, and it drives a nail into the coffin of the Falcons. There's 10 seconds here for MOUZ. Closing in, can't steal it back. Torchi takes him down. MOUZ have got 2 chances to lock in playoff maps right now.
And Falcons had two of their own. They couldn't close. You think MOUZ are going to let them back in the game, winning the most unwinnable rounds, teed up for a 2-0 to eliminate Falcons in the group. This is a MOUZ who did not miss a playoff in 2025 with their full roster. The only playoff MOUZ missed was Katowice. Here in Kraków, MOUZ look to make up for it. A year of success. Every arena, every stage, every crowd against them, MOUZ still made it. 5 kills. Starts it off again.
For the flight of the Falcons here, they're in free fall. They've stalled. And they're in danger of hurtling down to earth. Elimination is just one round away. And so whatever your next move is, it better be the best move you've got. Slow to open, but quick to end as they set their sights on this A-bomb site. Torshi had some swing and misses. This would be the time to find yourself. This would be the time to get going because the util's raining and they're not making life easy for Torshi. He burns from 100 to 0. Brolin trying to buy time and it's a losing battle as they've made their way up through the catwalk. Falcons looking good to hold on. Jimmy gets the dink, but that won't be enough to win this round for you. And now Falcons, they're fighting for double OT. Once again, this one is going the distance in overtime.
Yeah, Torshi fumbled his smoke there. He didn't get it out. He quick switched off, and so that molly burns him. He didn't even realize. He thought it was gone. MOUZ extinguished in this round. Falcons find one more. A clean cat executes. And you do feel like this A site is the answer, right? Spinx has just been titanic in this series. Falcons know they can abuse Brolin at long. All their rounds coming off this A site. Do they go back to it? Round 30. Double overtime or 2-0 for MOUZ. Thought he got it out.
As Torshi's learning, sometimes it's just not your map. Sometimes it's just not your day, but that's where, you know, when you're at your lowest, your team is there to pick you up. That's what it's meant to be. That's how MOUZ have always operated. Win as a team, lose as a team. It's not about these huge upticks of any one individual. They're meant to do it together. And so let's see if the rest of the gang can strap their heads on in this final round of play. Falcons go back to the cat control. But this time they haven't left it to the remit of Torshi. They've put exertion, their best man, on the case. Gets that smoke out now, so if the same molly comes in, it will still be a problem for exertion. Torshi will nail a shot on the cross. That didn't happen last time. Falcons didn't have to worry about that the last time around. And Kicksands even burned to death in the downtime. Falcons move in.
Retake.
I'm on their backs, and this one's going to get Cell with a retake out towards A. Tessez will be given the room to get this bomb planted.
It costs a smoke, it costs everything. Falcons have to fight their way out of this hole.
Odyssey spotted. Takes a fight, takes a head off. Brolin out in the open is a dead man. Falcons right there as Odyssey is desperate to drag them through to another OT. 25 kills deep, and now donning his weapon of choice. It's all Ilya the Kid for the Falcons. Another overtime secured at the hands of Odyssey.
Odyssey moves mountains into double OT. 4 frags on the cat corner. Carries them through. And keeps MOUZ down for one more. Felt like another fatal blow for the Falcons was brewing. Another early exit. Odyssey makes sure, not yet.
And in a test of longevity, that's where the team with more depth, with more reps, is meant to come out ahead. That's what Falcons have got to be telling themselves here. Modessy's kept them in this series. Modesty's kept them in the conversation. And now it's down to the rest of them to live up to their side of the bargain. It's another chance at this T side.
Mind games still are a factor, right? What are you doing on this T side? Where are you going? Because it's just been cat exec. That's the only way Falcons have found success in this T side. MOUZ prioritize the A site. 4 players along, control taken. Torshi's orb floats at the corner. Modesty moves through middle. Falcons want to punish Brolin again, but are they ready for a new Joker and a new deck? It's Exertion hiding out back of the pit. Brolin, he has been exploited time after time. He has not taken kills with him. This round is different.
With Exertion waiting. You've been so used to seeing Brolin here alone. Exertion in behind enemy lines. Doesn't want to waste the opportunity. Waited to try and get a double from that position. Brolin died to enable it.
Could have been the round if he found Kixon. Lucky to be alive and out. Gives a chance. The info's spotted, but mid control still taken. With no smoke, you could not risk the cross on mid to B. That is a risk not worth taking.
So many of these rounds, even into the overtimes, the lack of util has been a massive red flag, a huge, glaring problem for the Falcons to navigate. No matter where you go, not having smokes is always a problem. Trying to get out through the catwalk, hoping that flashes, hoping that a well-placed molly will bring you in to the conversation. Torshi doesn't seem to think so. He thanks you for these open sight lines, and with Modesty tapped out, there's no winning this for Kixan. 2 guys right here on the ramp, got to find them both cleanly, and he can't get past that double setup. Exertion with a big 3K.
MOUZ have been so anti-clutch, right? They have just been shut down every one of these clutch rounds. We don't even talk about them as a possibility, even when Falcons are in good positions to potentially get a couple of kills, put a bomb down, open up the chance. MOUZ do not let it happen. Their trading has been excellent in this game. Till the final moment of the round. MOUZ there. Nice shot for Modesty. Torsi responds.
Unexpected.
Where did that come from?
The new orb has entered the arena.
Are you ready for this?
Entered the battlefield. He's taking an aggressive stance with it all the way in the lower. They'll hear it fire off. Torshi caught. There's the swing. Exertion's just double killed them down in the lower tunnels. It's all chaos, and MOUZ, they are thriving in it right now.
How do MOUZ get out and man up? You feel like Torshi blinded with a missed shot in lower is enough for Falcons to run away with the advantage. Exertion has regrouped. He has disappeared. And Falcons, this is the one time they have util, but ironically, contact would be their best play. There's no one watching this position. Do Falcons realize the reset has come in? It's a great realization. Kixon calls them in. They shift into the site. This gives them element of surprise. Bomb can go down once they've cleared positions. MOUZ are still going to be hot on their tails of the retake, but now you have Molly, 2 mollies, smoke. You have everything you need to shut down a post plant.
When you talk about the Falcons, it's important. It's impossible to not talk about the star players in this squad, but all 3 of them are dead in this 2v3. It's got to come down to the rest. Tess says, right-hand man, up close. Can't find a double kill, and now Kixan as the captain's got to do it. Exertion's 3 kills deep. He's got hot hands. He's feeling great right now. Damn near unstoppable. Is Kixan really the man for the job? Backed off the angle to the flashes, quick reposition, spam for a bit of damage, but Kixan needs 2 clinical shots and can't find a thing. MOUZ charge him down, anti-clutch indeed, as they stop another one of these Falcons rounds in their tracks.
Falcons do the right move there. They play it very cheeky. They play it very well. They molly behind Tess as he gets back control of catwalk. It's blocked. Of course, MOUZ have everything in their pocket. They throw the kitchen sink at him. Porcelain knocks Falcons out cold. Piano from the top floor. Falcons crushed 2 rounds in this CT side. MOUZ look for flawless half.
And this was the side that they were meant to be struggling on, right? That's the part that's making you nervous. The idea that they could just give themselves this huge leg up, only one round needed. If you go flawless, you've got 3 chances on the harder half, this T side, just to get it on the board, just to knock Falcons out. Finally deal with the monster under the bed here. And get rid of this Dust2. Don't have to worry about it. Lock in the playoffs here and now. And Spinx playing in a lower. Again with an aggressive move. Spinx always leaves you looking right over your shoulder. That double keeps the round alive.
Falcons freeze. Will a kill be handed over? m0NESY hopes.
There is no one on B. This entire round is focused on the catwalk, focused on mid. Both teams neglecting the tunnels, neglecting the B site. They believe these fights, this round is won and lost out here in the skirmish for mid control.
But all MOUZ know Falcons could be walking into the tunnels, so MOUZ get clamoring for information. They get desperate. Pushing in.
m0NESY's got the cover.
Yeah, well, the barrel of his teammate bait them in. To the deadly shot of the orb. He connects it. Bails out his teammate. 3-on-2 for Falcons. Another advantage.
Well, she now takes the line. Kiyasuke hits a blinder.
They know.
And with Jimmy spotted out here in middle, Nico is closing in. Stalking his prey up through the long side. You hear these nades coming out, and that's the invite for Nico to come knocking. 1 round grabbed on this T half.
It's always just 1 round. It's always just enough to keep them in. Not enough to win, enough to not lose. Again, for now. I love the moments that Spinx picks and chooses to get aggressive. Often, such a passive player, you can't flush him out, and then every now and then he throws his name in the ring.
Oh, we said that the B side's been getting neglected. We said that no one's been going B. Could that be about to change? Torshi had the spawn. The rest of the team played over here in behind him. And it's only Kixan here.
Oh, don't do
These
this.
teams have fully neglected this bomb site throughout overtime.
Just so risky to hit it in the dark, no information, out of spawn. What, you want to go B without a pick? You could just get turned into compost.
I'll decide against it.
Yeah, MOUZ aren't
No
crazy.
one wants to make that fast play that just throws away one of these chances.
Especially with how many double orbs Falcons pulled out in this game, right? Kiyasuke was double orbing the first half of Inferno. He was, of Dust2, the first half of overtime. He was pulling it out over m0NESY when he didn't have the money. And so MOUZ don't know what they're up against yet. m0NESY bordering on 30 kills. Exertion right there as well. MOUZ slow and Falcons passive, playing the round out, playing the clock, holding their smoke. The final one goes out on B. They've bought a lot of time. Do they know where it's going? Falcons re-clear middle together. The util baits him in. It's a long hit into m0NESY.
Nails his shot and now just tees up Tessez to play off of him. This bomb's alone on long, so there's no winning this round anymore for MOUZ. It's a swing and a miss at the first time of asking on this T side. Falcons will tie this game up.
Yeah, the round goes a bit wrong from the get-go. MOUZ are very reliant on that B pick for Torshi. They just spread back out to T spawn, feeling like they just have to go out long. m0NESY in a strong position. MOUZ failure to launch in this round.
You kind of get 1 round to play like that, right? You had 1 round of breathing room to go and risk it on an entry from the Torshi orb. Didn't have much follow through or much to fall back on when that didn't pan out. And so the round just kind of petered. This next one has to have a little bit more direction for MOUZ. They have to be very direct or insistent, or at least have a clear end goal behind the call.
Again, triple B spawn here for MOUZ. Jimmy has long spawn, but is that the guy you want taking the orb for a pick? Is that a risk you want to take?
This is where you're looking at Brolin and wondering what he can come up with. Oh, well, that will help. Kixan, the brains of the operation, but they're spread all over the mid doors. Nico in with a reply out towards long.
Seen that before.
You know you got that B pick and you wonder if that's an enticing enough offer to really just hammer this one home. Yeah. Look for that mid to be again. Kiyasuke will be the one in the hot seat as he's the only guy on this half of the map.
Claustrophobic position here, but with the AK up close, Kiyasuke looks for headshots. Crosses back out, the smoke disappears, and MOUZ move in. Kyosuke up and over. m0NESY in a battle in middle, but it's all about this B side that Kyosuke can't contain.
Oh, that's a collateral.
But no kill. m0NESY cursed and no nade can connect. He goes down. How can he not finish the kill? m0NESY with 30 frags, tags 2, bags neither. Bomb down for MOUZ.
That is so close to being a life game shot. But the collateral coming up short. May as well have never hit them at all if Falcons don't capitalize. Ready to push through this smoke is Nico. Brolin's low on health from that tag earlier. He'll finish what m0NESY started. And now Exertion makes a play all on his own. Low on HP, cover him from Torshi. Nico's getting sandwiched. Nico's getting iced out, and there's nowhere left to turn. MOUZ get on to match in series point.
Elimination staring Falcons in the face again. MOUZ right there. And m0NESY. You have to feel for the kid. Connection with the orb, no kill on that cross.
This MOUZ team, resilience has always been a downfall. It's always been a pitfall. But on Inferno, Exertion came through with round-winning plays to keep them in it from bottom of the board. In that round, Torshi lands multiple tags, multiple round-saving kills, and now they swing for the fences out towards long. Falcons, they've got to scrap for another overtime.
And they finish it with a bang. Falcons bail out. They want nothing to do with this. Damage done from the Falcons. MOUZ have been hit hard. Torshi is risking it, crossing into the pit, but he does so safely with the cover of the smoke. m0NESY holding for the cross. Plat. MOUZ methodical, but gotta get past m0NESY still. As Brolin negotiates with middle. A lot of eyes for Falcons on this position. Brolin's util tells Falcons what's up, but his team are moving on long. Smoke blocked. Tesses jumped at it, bounced it into the site. MOUZ are going to have to replenish. It is on Torshi. He's on pit with the orb. Don't want to take your eyes off of the scope. m0NESY is waiting patiently. Will it pay off?
Kixan gets his revenge on a mid-push, and now they try and pick up the pace on this A-hit. And these next few fights decide everything. Nico takes charge, opens with one. Follow-up for Torshi in response. Another one of these 3v5s. Don't have this one go against you. They've really struggled in these moments. Can Kixan deliver salvation? No. It falls on a Kyosuke. Reuniting with the Falcons here in Kraków. And this would be the time, but denied as Jimmy plays it forward. And the house of cards comes crumbling down.
MOUZ into playoffs. Falcons grouped here in Kraków after a missed year in Katowice. MOUZ make every playoff of 2025, and they kick off 26. Back to another stage, back in front of another crowd. Falcons fall, Falcons fumble. Multiple man advantages again let them down.
They just couldn't